National anthem at Blackbaud Stadium in Charleston. It's a gorgeous evening. It's been into the low 80s here today and yesterday. The team coming down yesterday afternoon had a bit of a workout at the practice field just a few blocks away from here. And then light workout this morning and back at it for game one of the season for the Rhinos. And the starting lineups are brought to you by Nothnega Realtors, Rochester's full-service realtor. Starting in goal for the home team, and that being the Charleston Battery, former Rhino Dusty Hudak, as he comes in to this one with an 0-1-2 record of 1.33 goals against average. The defensive row includes Tim Belton, Marco Retta, you've heard that name, of course, before, Nelson Aquari, and Kevin Nyland. And in the midfield, Chris Williams, Osvaldo Alonso, Luis Rocco, and Mike Richardson. And then up front, Randy Patterson. And for some of you soccer fans, a familiar name, Lester Moore. We'll talk about him in a little bit. For the Rhinos, in goal, Scott Vallow returns to get this season underway. Vallow in goal for the Rhinos and playing his first game, as are the entire squad here tonight. A former Charleston Battery player is on defense, along with that's Luke Kremelmeyer, along with Scott Palguda, Tinwa Bansu, and Charles Atiba. That's David Atiba Charles, and he goes by Atiba. And we have Tiger Fitzpatrick in the midfield, and he goes pretty much by Tiger. Johnny Menyonger, Mauricio Salas, and Steve Guppy in the midfield. And up front, Ahmad Diallo and Matthew Delicat. So the biggest returning experience factor will be the forwards for the Rhinos, Diallo and Delicat. And Diallo having an excellent preseason, scoring in every preseason game. So it seems like he is fit and ready to go. The Rhinos are wearing their whites, and now shooting in the net to my right. And the Battery in their usual black and yellow striped jerseys with black shorts and socks. And the Rhinos again traveling from left to right, shooting on Dusty Hudak as we are underway tonight. Game one of the season begins here from Blackbaud Stadium. Long delivery into Rhino territory. That's to my left, played aside by Atiba. And on the far wing, recovered by the Battery. Spinning around, Lester Moore drops it to the outside, across, down in front, down to the 18. Turning Patterson, trying to face the net for a shot. Draws it off the end line, but lost it, and Atiba will spin it off into the stands on the far side off the left foot. Played away, quick throw in by the Battery at the far end of the box. Down to the 5, rolling toward the end line. It's out over the end line, and that'll give the Rhinos a goal kick. Vallow is wearing the blue uniform, kind of a baby blue uniform. Will pick up a ball. He didn't like the one he had, so he'll trade it for one that the ball boy has in behind. Vallow always likes the ball, I think, a little harder than most of the players do. Just getting going, first minute here at Blackbaud Stadium. Again, it's a beautiful evening. Sun shining a little bit on the stands on the far side of the field, but the rest of the stadium is in the shade. Played away, Salas tries to volley it forward, knocked down to the midfield line. A slide tackle is blocked, and the foul is called, and it'll be called on Salas. So a restart for the Battery from midfield. Quick restart, a little too quick. And the center ref says, hold up, let's do it again. Either way, center ref Nico Brutzis. And on the lines, we have Sky Arthur Banning and Jeremy Brooks. And the fourth official is Bob Wern. So the ball will be put in play by Nyland. Long left-footed kick down to the 18, bounces inside the near end of the box, and back goes Kremelmeyer. And a 1v1, the ball rolls out of bounds on the near side of that, off of the Battery, and a throw in quickly for the Rhinos. Quick toss to Menyonger, sets it up on the outside for Guppy as he is slowed up and the ball rolls away. Nyland pass in the middle as it sneaks through and down inside the 18, recovered by Bansu with the right foot, drives a high floater through midfield. Headed in the air and off of the near wing. Nyland returning back for the puck, plays it off into the middle for Rocco. As he spins, being chased down by Delicat, but gets it away. Alonso on the left wing side, turns it to the outside along the near touchline. Rocco dropping it back for Alonso once again. Mauricio watching, and the ball is back across midfield into Battery territory. On the near wing, left-footed downfield by Chris Nyland. He'll send it down into the box, and the ball is played down inside where it's grabbed and held onto. That's Kevin Nyland, grabbed onto by Vallow. Down inside of his 18, Vallow has the ball. He'll move the players away. Third minute from Blackbaud Stadium, and no score. First 5 games for the Rhinos on the road. And they'll get a little road legs underneath them here in the early going. Delicat running over Alonso, and the foul is called. Restart for the Battery from their own 40. Right away, off in the middle. Played back off in the middle to Alonso once again. He looks to the outside and rolls it to the out on the near wing, and Nyland will drop it back in the middle. Taken there by Aquari. And a pass in the middle for Marco Retta. Turns, looks around, Retta to the outside of the far wing. Gives it off once again. Tim Velton has toward the middle with the right foot. Will then drive it out to the midfield line. That's volley forward into Rochester territory, but recovered by the Rhinos. Ben Younger gets it back on a return pass from Tiger and up to midfield. The midfield line for Delicott. Turns it to the outside of the left wing. Tiger Fitzpatrick long on the left wing side for Diallo. He's in behind, offside. I don't know. It looked like he was pretty much on line with the four defenders. So a restart now for the Battery. As the ball brought away, 4th minute, no score, just getting going. Nyland, the left outside back. We'll play it through everybody. Rolls all the way down inside the Rhino 18. Scooped up by Vallow. Waits for the players to spread out. Throws it off on the right wing side to Kremmelmeyer. Kremmelmeyer had played here in Charleston, also played in Portland many seasons, and he'll recover the ball after losing it to Moore, and a foul is called. However, the foul will be called on the Rhinos. So a free kick for Charleston from 30 yards out to the left of center. And Sellis arguing with referee Nico Bratsis, but gets nowhere. And Osvaldo Alonso getting ready to take the kick. They call him Ozzy. He's one of the newcomers to USL First Division Soccer, having just recently left the Cuban national team. Alonso with the right foot drives it into the box, but it's knocked down and carried away by Guppy. The Rhinos have it. Guppy turning it upfield to his 35. Well, left footed off on the far wing. Diallo, but he won't get to it. As it's turned back and recovered by Rolko for the Battery. Drops it down inside of his own 18, and Hudak then will kick it away across midfield. Off on the near wing, turning back to the ball is Lester Moore. Works upfield, another of the Cuban defectors. Turns to the outside of the near wing, and the Rhinos have it. Tiger. Long as 35 in the middle for Mignonger. He'll go to the left side, switching it off on the far wing for Palguda across midfield. At the midfield line, taken by Diallo. He'll roll it off in the middle once again, and Mignonger drops it back to his 40 for Bonsu, ahead of the midfield line for Tiger. Fitzpatrick rolling into the outside on the near wing for Kremmelmeyer. Right wing side, looking for the through ball. Is blocked away on the near wing and chased down. Driven by Akwari out near midfield, but recovered by Kremmelmeyer as he steps up on the play. Draws it into the center circle for Mignonger. Rolling it to the outside on the near wing for Steve Guppy. As he spins to get away from Richardson, pass off in the middle. As the Rhinos working on ball control, a return pass in the middle for Guppy goes long to the left wing side. In underneath it is Diallo, far end of the 18. As he's 1v1 with Velton, pass down along the 15 in front, and as Sellis had it ticketed for the backside, the ball is driven away out of the box and carried upfield. On the attack now, Patterson to midfield, bumped by Kremmelmeyer, and the ball knocked away. Bonsu, he'll feed it out to midfield for Mignonger. Guppy turning back, looking for the through ball up the right side to Delicott, but headed away by Akwari and recovered by Nyland of the Battery. Got back once again in the middle, taken there by Retta. He'll turn back as he gets away from Delicott. Long as 25, spins it to the near side. On forward, on the attack, and a right foot boot through midfield. And underneath it is a Tiba for the Rhinos. That's volleyed, big bouncer down inside, but it's an offside against Lester Moore, who is in ahead of the play. Moore, again, one of those who has just come over from, has defected from the Cuban national team last July when they were playing at the Gold Cup. The all-time leading scorer for Cuba, 66 goals. He played for the national team since he was age 16 back in 1995. And he saw Gold Cup finals in 98, 03, 05, and 07. Also 13 FIFA World Cup qualifiers. So to say the least, Lester Moore is well qualified. At midfield, Tiger in underneath it, slides, booted forward to Delicott, turns it to the outside on the left wing for Sellis. Mauricio Sellis looks back toward the middle, drops it off, moving up from behind is Palguda. Draws it down to the 35, and on the far wing for Diallo. He'll work it deep to the end line, 5 yards out. Drops it back on the far wing once again. Palguda moving in, and a ball is knocked out of bounds by the Battery. Throw in for the Rhinos, about 18 yards out of the far side. Palguda ready to take the throw in. We're into the 8th minute and no score, just getting started in game one. Sellis to the far corner for Palguda, bumping as the ball rolls to the end line. It got away from the Battery and out. And this will be evidently off of the Rhinos, so it'll be a goal kick. First kick for Dusty Hudak. Again, winless on the season with a loss and 2 ties. And a 1.33 goals against average for Hudak. with the right foot. Line drive kick through midfield off of the near wing. Kremmelmeyer stepping up. However, it's headed forward by Richardson for Moore, dropping it back at midfield for Alonso. Hand up the left wing, stepping in the middle of that pass is Kremmelmeyer to knock it down, and the Rhinos have it back. Turns it to the outside for Guppy, drawing it forward, tried to sneak a pass through, but it's blocked by Alonso, carried forward into Rhino territory, and blocked by Kremmelmeyer. The Rhinos have it back. Tiger giving it off to Menyonger. Looks through in the middle. He'll switch it to the outside of the left flank, but unable to get to it, Palguda, so a giveaway by the Rhinos. And the ball will be thrown in the far side by the Charleston battery. No score. We're in the 9th minute here in Charleston. On the right wing side, delivered through midfield. Moore, a flick forward, but getting to it is Bansu, and knocked up the left wing side by Palguda for Tiger. Rolls it ahead to midfield for Delicott. Checking back on the ball as he's chased there. Turns it to the outside, moving along midfield into the center circle. Feed to Guppy, but blocked away on a nice tackle. And now heading through the midfield circle. And Younger in underneath it, helping out Diallo. Trying to reach the ball, but Alonso gets there first for the battery. Look for the through ball, but it's intercepted. Kremmelmeyer gives it off to Fitzpatrick, and the Rhinos bring it across midfield for Diallo. He's bumped it upended, taken down, and a foul is called on the Charleston battery. 10th minute, and no score. So the Rhinos on the restart. And Younger lays it back into the center circle for Guppy. Drawing it forward. His pass off to Diallo is intercepted. Taken back by the battery. Patterson drops it off in the far wing. Turning back for the ball. Belton drops it off. Or one of his defensive partners. And Marco Retta, high delivery downfield. A floater coming down to the Rochester 25. In underneath it. Played aside by Atiba. Off on the near wing. And Sellis now will turn and look upfield. No movement there. Sellis turns and drops it back now to his own 35. Kremmelmeyer off in the middle for Bansu. To his left for Atiba. And as they play catch along the 25, a pass forward to Tiger Fitzpatrick in the midfield circle. Gives it off to Menyonger. Turns and looks upfield and a pass ahead for Sellis. 1v1 is bumped off the ball by Aquara and taken down, and a foul is called. As of right now, I don't have a shot for either team in this game so far. We're in the 11th minute. And most of the action has been near midfield. Long play up the right wing side for Guppy, dropping it back. Moving forward, Kremmelmeyer as he's chased, bumped, gets away from Moore, and loses the ball. It's taken away by the battery. On the near side, stepping in nicely to intercept is Bansu. Tips it forward to Guppy. He'll play to open space on the right wing side. Chasing after it goes Delicott. In the corner, gets to the ball, but it's out over the line and out of play. Throw in the near corner, deep in the corner for the battery. From around their own 2-yard line. Throw in on the near side. High looper. Out to the 35. Knocked down by Menyonger for Sellis. He tried to speed it back, but it's blocked by Alonso and taken away to Williams. From his 35 in the middle for the battery and off on the far wing to Belton. Turns back. Just outside of his 18. Drops it off to Hudak, and he'll first time it away. Long high floater coming down to midfield. Knotted forward by Palguda for Diallo as he checks back and the ball is upended. No foul is called. And the loose ball is cleared away by Retta through midfield. Stepping in underneath it, Atiba in a collision as two players and head-to-head went down on the pitch. Atiba is down and so is Patterson. Trainers are being called out onto the field as they knocked noggins, it would appear. 12th minute and no score here at Blackbot Stadium. Scott Dallow all the way out pleading his case to referee Bratsis about where's the foul. I did not see an indication of a foul being called. Players are still down on the field. Well, we have great sponsors making these broadcasts possible all season long. And we'll be listing those for you as we go out through the season. And they include Connolly Printing, the official printer of the Rhinos. RITN, everything you need to be perfectly comfortable. And by Salvatore's, they deliver everything but babies. Those are just some of the sponsors. And the Rhinos players are calling for a change-up on Atiba. Referee, as he looks on, Dave DiPasquale of the Rhinos is bringing Atiba over, and he has a towel up over the forehead, holding on to. Evidently, it's Atiba has been cut, perhaps, as he makes his way over. And again, the Rhinos were calling for a substitution to be made. The entire bench is up and warming up. And while we're talking about it, we'll give you the bench here tonight for the Rhinos. Available for substitution, the goalkeeper, Tim Milia. And also available, Nate Kraft, J.P. Reyes, John Ball, Z. Roberto, and Evan Millward are the available substitutes. Dave Pasquale is taking Atiba and taking him directly to the locker room. So evidently he has a cut. He's walking under his own power, but Dave Pasquale is holding on to his head with a pressure from a towel, so it must be a cut on the part of Atiba Charles. The players that are not on this trip are all basically injured, and as Coach Tilley told us in the pregame, they're mostly minor injury types, but those that are back in Rochester and injured include Chase Harrison, Lee Sembalek, Chad Severs, Alfonso Loera, and Ray Martinez. Nate Kraft is in. Nate Kraft enters the match as he comes in to the game in the 14th minute. The injury to Atiba. All right, so Kraft is in, and he's just coming over from indoor, so he hasn't had much running yet for the outdoor game. We'll see how well he's able to perform yet tonight. That's a play down inside the 18. Up they go for the header. That's knotted aside by Sellis for Guppy. He'll settle the ball, and Kremmelmeyer will pound it out near midfield, but blocked away from Delicott on the near wing. Centering pass is blocked away and out off of Richardson, and the whistle will stop play, and it'll be a throw-in for the Rhinos. So Atiba was injured in the 13th minute. Again, walking under his own power to the locker room, but evidently had been cut, so he'll most likely be having a new zipper installed. Way down inside the 18, booted away by Palguda out near midfield for Delicott. Turns upfield into the outside for Diallo, drops it back. Menyonger drawing it forward and off into the center circle for Sellis. He'll then lay it back to his defensive role. And Bonsu to the outside of the near wing for Kremmelmeyer. We're now in the 15th minute and no score from Charleston, as the Rhinos will head off to Minnesota on Sunday afternoon, where it evidently is to be considerably colder than it is here. Actually, in the neighborhood, they were calling for snow today. Laid back off in the middle now as Palguda slides into a central defensive position, and Kraft moves to the outside on the left. As for Menyonger along his 35, turning it into the center circle, as he is able to sneak by Alonso, turning back with the ball at midfield, and now he'll go to the outside for Diallo. Working wide on the left flank. Drawing it forward, 1v1 with Velton. Diallo still has the ball. Plays it back out around the 35 for Menyonger. Off in the middle for Tiger, moving forward, but no room to shoot. Spins back, off to his right to Kremmelmeyer, who's deep in the play also, and lays it off for Tiger. Now long up the right wing side, but stepping into dotted away is Nyland, and on the near side, carried upfield. Long through ball after it. Bonsu getting to it first. He plays it back to the keeper, and Vallow will first time it away as Bonsu has got an extra little push from Patterson, and the Rhinos wanted a whistle but don't get it. All booted away and out on the near side, and a throw in for the Battery. Taking the throw in, Nyland goes into Patterson, off the right foot up in the air, make that more, and it's volleyed by Guppy out across the midfield line. Back to settle it, Aquara will spin it forward, but Bonsu will head it back to the midfield line. Then it's knotted in the air by Nyland, coming down to the Rochester 35, and again Bonsu up for it, is able to head it out to midfield. Retta will try the right wing side this time. After it goes Williams, but sneaks by him, and Kraft will chase it down in the far corner. Plays it back inside the 18, where it's taken by Vallow, and long up the left wing. Menyonger nods it to the outside for Kraft. Return pass, Menyonger, one touch, dropping it off for Tiger Fitzpatrick in the middle to Sellis, but too far ahead, and it's recovered by the Battery. Trying to take a shot, Moore spins it off on the right side, but no help there, and the ball will just roll out of bounds. 17th minute, no score. Here at Blackbaud Stadium, long throw in, and it's taken by Menyonger. Turns and drops it to the outside for Kraft. Nate Kraft, by the way, wears number 2 jersey now. He had worn 26 last year, but as Darren Tilley has recovered his old number playing days, number 26, Kraft becomes number 2. Off in the middle, another number change. Will be Matthew Delicott now wearing number 9 instead of 7. A player assistant coach Steve Guppy is number 7, so Delicott gave up his number 7. He's now number 9. Out back off in the middle. From the Battery 35, pulled forward out into the center circle. And a long delivery down for a service, and in behind was Moore. It looked like he might have been a step ahead of the play, but Bonsu was able to knot it aside for Vallow. 18th minute and no score. And as I have no shots at this point either. Very deliberate game thus far. Nobody opening things up as of yet. Dribbled forward by Battle. Now he pounds it out through midfield. Knotted back into the middle by Nyland. Alfonso underneath it. Drops it off in the middle. Rolko to Retta. Long chip up the right side and running underneath it. Williams trying to get there, being chased by Kraft, and Williams has it at the Rochester 10. Turns back to the left foot side and draws it off at the far corner of the box. That shot inside, knocked away, and out of the box by Palguda. At the far end, Kraft with it. Left foot chip forward. Out in the far wing for Diallo. As he checks back on the ball to help out. Drops it off for Kraft. One touch off to Palguda. And the Rhinos bring it forward. A feed forward to the 35. Guppy drops it for Menyonger. Kremmelmeyer plays it back in the middle. Where it's taken by Bansu, and Menyonger turning it off on the right wing side for Guppy. Drives it forward and a give and go from Sellis, but the ball on the backside of the pass is recovered by the battery by Rolko. Center circle to Retta. Turns and he'll lay it back to his own 35 for Belton. On the right wing and a long chip up the right side, deep to the far corner. It's chased after by Patterson for the battery. Watched by Palguda. Across along the 6, and back for it is Kremmelmeyer. Just boots it out over the end line. First corner kick of the match. First corner goes to the opposition, the battery. And this will be off the left wing side. It looks like Alonso. Ozzy Alonso, the 22-year-old from San Cristobal, Cuba, will take the kick. Right-footed kicker, in-swinger. Lays it to the back post. Up in the air goes Bansu and nodded away and out of the box. Coming down to the 25. There's a high floater toward the end line. Vallo at his own 2 is easy up in the air to grab it and haul it down. 20th minute now and no score. Half volley kick through midfield by Vallo. And underneath it, Diallo as he tangles with Aguari. And the ball is recovered and held onto by the battery. On the near wing for Richardson. Long up the left wing side. Trying to draw it forward. Patterson. Ball rolling along the near touchline. Still in play. Patterson has it. Drops it off. Alonso to the outside for Richardson once again. Bobbled it. Lost it momentarily, but recovers the ball. And now plays it off into the middle. But Menyonger is there for the Rhinos to recover the ball from his own 35. Turning it to the outside on the left flank for Diallo. Through midfield as he avoids Velton. Draws it back into the center circle. And it's left there for Palguda. To the near wing for Kremmelmeyer. Right outside back and a pass forward to Sellis, but couldn't get to it. Taken back again by the battery. Across midfield, stepping in to knock it away at midfield line is Delicott, and now across midfield for Sellis, but got away from him. And it's picked up. Retta from his own 35 in the middle of the field. Burns looks to the right wing side, now begins to dribble forward. And a long ball looking to sneak it through, but Palguda back is able to hand it away. Carried forward by Guppy out near midfield. Stephen Guppy, boy, does he have experience behind him. Menyonger goes to the right wing side. Sellis spinning after the ball, and he's knocked down from behind by Nyland. The foul is called, and the Rhinos will have a restart from 45 yards out off the near side of the field. Sellis to Kremmelmeyer on a short restart to the outside, but blocked away and out of bounds. Rhinos, obviously, as Coach Tilley and Guppy not too long ago, just getting things started. They're still working on some of their set pieces, and that'll be a work in progress for the next couple of months, or next few weeks at least, on a lot of these set pieces and so on, as it takes a little time to mold a whole new team. Brought forward, Rolko for the battery, dropping it back in the middle, and now first time drive through midfield. Palguda with the right foot pops it up in the air, comes down to the center circle, got away from Guppy, and recovered by Alonso of the battery. To the outside of the near wing for Nyland. As he looks back toward the middle with the right foot, sends it through midfield. Moore couldn't get to it, and back for it goes Kraft. Plays it off to the keeper, Vallo, and all he can do is just bang it away out of the box. Moore in underneath it. He's got a pumpkin on each foot. He's got orange boots. Looks like pumpkins. And the ball brought away, Alonso, as he gets tied up but gets away, and now a pass at the right wing side to Williams. Deep to the corner, but that is tipped away and out by Palguda. Throw in on the far side about the Rhino 10 for the battery. Down on the wing and to the far end of the box, Alonso looking for a cross and a couple of hops to the short post. There it's the near post and grabbed by Vallo. Scoops it up and holds on. 23rd minute. And no score here at Blackbard Stadium. Vallo. Well, it wasn't much of a shot, but we'll call that the first shot of the game. Driven out through midfield. Headed for by Delicott for Diallo. 25 yards out in the middle. Gives it off to Sellis to his right. Turns back toward the middle. Puts it on the left foot. Feeds to the outside of the box for Delicott. Drops it back on the outside. Moving up Kraft on the play. And the 35, Younger sneaks it forward to the 20 for Delicott, trying to turn for the shot, but that is blocked away and taken down Kremmelmeyer, and a foul will be called to Alonso. Referee Rochester, wanting to talk to Alonso, pulls out the yellow card. Yellow card on Alonso here in the 24th minute. So that's the first caution we've seen this season. 24th minute, no score from Charleston. And the Rhinos in preseason had a nice 7-0 record and outscored the opposition 15-4. Did very well in the preseason. Now the kick placed at the 35, just a hair to the right of center. Who's going to take the kick? Younger is there. Looks like no. Sellis with the left foot. A boomer in. Picked up on a short hop by Hudak. So the Rhinos get a nice shot away from Mauricio Sellis. And he has a left foot. Nice shot to the frame, but picked up in the short hop. One scoop by Hudak. And the ball brought forward across midfield by the Battery. Tackled away momentarily by Palguda, but recovered again by the Battery. As Williams spins it back toward midfield, Rolko looking in the center circle. Will lay it back to his own side of midfield for Retta. Through the circle on the near wing for Aquari. A pass up the left wing side and across midfield. Rolko feeding it forward to Moore, and a give and go back to Rolko. From 35 yards out, bothered by Younger, so he lays it back into the center circle for Retta. At the midfield line, a chip forward into the middle, and a flick through, trying to sneak it through to Moore, but recovered by the Rhinos. Guppy to Tiger, to the outside for Kraft on the left wing, and a feed up the far touchline for Diallo, dropping it back to Nate Kraft. His first action actually just arriving in town only a couple of days ago from his indoor team. Takes a little bit of work to get back to the outside game. On the near wing, spinning. Kremmelmeyer neatly gets away, and a pass upfield. Stepping in to knock it away. And tip it aside, Aquari, and in the center circle, Rolko dropping it off for Retta. The Battery have the ball near midfield. Retta turning back, watched by Delicott, and he'll just lay it back to the keeper, Dusty Hudak, who's been around now for a few years. Hudak at 35 years of age now. Cross midfield, headed away by Palguda for Kremmelmeyer. In underneath it. Pass out to midfield for Sellis, dropping it back in the center circle, and Tiger to Younger. One touch right back to Tiger as he's grabbed onto by Moore, but spins in the center circle and gets away. Goes long to the left wing side, and Diallo in behind, trying to get around Velton. At the far end of the 18, drawing it down near the end line, turns it back to the right foot side. Hasn't had a look at the net, however, as he then puts it to the outside for Kraft from 20 yards out. A fake shot, turning it down near the end line, trying to get across in front, and he puts it out over top of the net and over the end line and out. Oh, blocked away and out. Corner kick for the Rhinos. First Rochester corner of the match. And then Younger, he'll take the kick. This off the left wing side. That's the far corner of the field. Right-footed kicker and in-swinger. 27th minute and no score. And Ben Younger with the service. Goes to the near post. Head ball in. Blocked. Up over top. And a head ball off the line is up over the net and out. Oh, man. As the Battery, a couple of players, one got a foot on it, one got a head on it. It almost went in twice. Another corner for the Rhinos. Off the left wing once again. Nice service on that first one from Ben Younger. And here's another service, about the same spot, middle of the box, head ball in by Bonsu, but misses wide to the right side. And the first header, it started all that fray in the earlier opportunity, I think, came from Delicott, as he got a nice header on it. But then one of the Battery players got a foot on it. The ball popped up in the air, and another player got the head ball that headed out over the crossbar. Long through midfield by Hudak. Ball knocked down. In underneath it is Tiger. Burns looking to get away from Patterson, off in the middle for Sellis. Through the center circle, then we'll go to the left wing side for Kraft. Drawing it for 28th minute from Blackbot, and finally the Rhinos come up with an opportunity and put some pressure on. Ball kicked all the way through and rolls down to the Rhino 18, where Ballo stops it for Palguda. Ahead now, Tiger Fitzpatrick into the center circle. Looks around, drops it off for Younger. He'll play it off into the middle where it's taken Bonsu. One touch, dropping it for Younger to the outside for Kremmelmeyer. Back down to his 30. Taken by Tinwa Bonsu, who I think has looked as good so far this year as he has at any time since he's joined the Rhino. He looks very top shape and very confident this season. To the outside, Menyonga up the near wing, neatly for Guppy across midfield. He slows up to get away from Richardson. Drops it off, or for Rocco, rather. No, that was Richardson, and it's dropped off at midfield. Menyonga switching into the left wing side for Kraft, his own side of midfield still. Lays it off into the center circle. Menyonga with it. No score from Charleston. Rhinos will be traveling to Minnesota for Game 2, which will be on Sunday. From Minneapolis, or from St. Paul, actually. Turn to the outside. Palguda. Guppy one touch, dropping it all the way back down to his goalkeeper, Scott Vallow. Vallow laying it forward. Palguda to the outside of the near wing. Upfield comes Bonsu at his own 35. Drops it back in the middle for Palguda. Rhinos looking for somewhere to open things up. Kremmelmeyer the pass forward to Guppy to the outside once again for Kremmelmeyer. Lays it back in the middle along his 25 for Bonsu. Drawing it forward, watched by Patterson. A pass to the center circle for Menyonga. And then he'll switch it off on the left flank. Carried forward by Kraft out to the midfield line. Nate Kraft makes a pass through to Sellis. As he's bumped, the ball gets away into the center circle, but Sellis, well, he went down after stepping on the ball, and it's carried forward now by the battery, long down to the 18, and Vallow out of his box drives it out into the center circle. Delicott settles it for Menyonga, gets away across midfield. Menyonga turning it to the outside on the right flank for Guppy. The player assistant coach of the Rhinos, Steve Guppy, looks to the outside. He's directing Kremmelmeyer to go deep and delivers deep in the far corner for Kremmelmeyer. Slows the ball up near the end line as he is being challenged on the ball by Richardson. Puts it on the leg of Richardson and out over the end line, and it'll be a corner once again for the Rhinos. Third corner of the match for Rochester, and Guppy is going to serve it up. He's a left-footed kicker. So another in-swinging kick from the assistant coach and the player, Steve Guppy, midfielder. They set it up. The referee blows the whistle. All set for the service. Guppy delivers. Goes through for the back post. Diallo heads it back in the middle. And up in the air is Hudak to bring it down. Actually, it was Bonsu headed back in the middle as Diallo was out along the 6. Now brought forward. Nice tackle by Kraft as he came all the way across the field to block the ball out of bounds at the midfield line. So pretty good hustle right there. At midfield, Alonso with it. Right-footed through midfield, and the through ball, but getting to it, Bonsu. Off of the near wing, and more after it. Inside the 18, left-footed kick for the back post, but puts it up over the net and out over the end line. So it'll be a goal kick for the Rhinos. Other sponsors of our broadcast include Paytech, personalizing personal communications. Excelis Blue Cross Blue Shield, helping you achieve your goals. And by Schweigels, the official hot dog at Paytech Park. Scott Vallow placing the ball at his 6. No score from Charleston. 31st minute. Out through midfield, getting the right foot on it. Palguda drives it out into the center circle. And then the ball is volleyed forward. Palguda again with a head ball knocks it away. And now it's carried forward by Moore. And inside the 18, breakaway from Patterson, moving in his shot. Blocked away by Vallow. And the offside flag is in the air on the far side anyway. But Vallow got a piece of it. The ball would not have gone in. Great save by Vallow, but wasn't needed because it was offside against the battery. So the Rhinos dodge a bullet as it's brought forward, and Tiger long delivery downfield, but headed away by Retta. Sellis in underneath it. That's up in the air. Menyonga dodges it forward for Sellis. Pops it up. Now hits it down to Guppy. Settles it at his feet and turns it off on the left flank for Kraft. Drawing it forward across midfield. After it, Diallo plays it back toward the middle, 40 yards out for Tiger, and off toward the center circle for Guppy. With the left foot, long service up the far touchline for Diallo. Blocks it off the chest, pulls it down to his feet, and the feet along the 18 for Menyonga. Trying to turn to the net for a shot, can't get it away. Dumping through to Guppy, takes a shot, but is blocked away. And it's booted out near the center circle. Carried forward. On the attack now, the battery. Off on the near side, Richardson. As he looks through, he'll pound the ball down inside and then blocked away. And back to recover it is Tiger. Little miscommunication there with Palguda, but Tiger finally able to play it off for Kraft in the far wing and out to near midfield for Menyonga. Turns it across the midfield line. Plays it back at the midfield where it's recovered, carried forward by Maurizio Sellis and into the center circle for Tiger Fitzpatrick. His pass ahead for Delicott, but as he turns, the ball is blocked away by Akbari and recovered by the battery. Center circle, Williams has it. He spins trying to get away. Delicott gets a foot in and boots it away. However, still recovered by the battery at their own 35. And to the center circle for Rolko. He'll go long in the service up the left flank, and that'll be over everybody and skip out of bounds. Throw in for the Rhinos. More sponsors of our broadcasts include Power Trip, Get in the Game, the World Gym, real gyms, real people, real results. And also by Auction Direct. For your next car, log on to auctiondirect.com. Again, kicked out of bounds on the near side around the Rochester 20. So another throw in for the Rhinos. Home opener, the 17th of May. Saturday night, May 17th, against the same Charleston Battery team. And it's going to be a big night at Paytech Park. We'll be talking with the president of the Rhinos about that at the half. Just mark it on your calendar if you haven't done so already. Make sure you nail down the night of Saturday, May 17th for the home opener for the Rhinos. So a free kick for the Battery off the left wing side from 30 yards out to be taken by Alonso. 34th minute and no score. Each team has had a golden opportunity but did not finish. Long ball booted in for the back post as was making that banana bend for the back post and grabbed by Vallo. Throws it off on the near wing for Kremmelmeyer. As it is 20, lays it back to Vallo. All he can do is first time it away, up in the air, coming down near the center circle. That's headed in the air. Headed forward by Alonso, but turned to the outside by Bonsu. At the far corner of the 18 for Nate Kraft with the left foot. He'll deliver out to midfield, and Delicott heads it across midfield. Sellis trying to get loose, and he is knocked down as he went for the ball. So a foul is called. And Red is not too happy with the call. Arguing with referee Bratsis, but gets nowhere, so the Rhinos will have the free kick from 45 yards out, a little bit to the left of center. Sellis placing the ball, but Guppy coming over. Looks like he'll be the one to take the kick. He's got great placement on the ball. Really serves it up very well. Guppy, left-footed kicker. Looks it over. Players lining up along the 18, now break, and Guppy puts it down inside the near end of the 6. It floats through and out over the end line. And didn't make it to the end line. All right, a push, a foul is called. So it'll be a kick for the Battery. 36th minute in Game 1 of the 2008 season. Now remember, in past years we've always talked about the 28-game season, but this year it's a 30-game season. 3 games against each of the other teams in the league. Carried forward by Richardson. Nice tackle as the ball taken away by Kremmelmeyer. Sends it out through midfield. It sneaks by Aguari and chased after by Delicott. Wins the race for the ball. Down the near end of the 18 from 5 yards out. A long cross, and it's grabbed by Hudak, who moves out to intercept as Diallo is breaking in from the left wing. Nice cross by Delicott. That's taken away from 25 yards out by Menyonger. Leaves it off for Guppy. Plays it to the outside, near end of the box. Chipped down to the back post, moving in. Oh, Diallo falls. He went for the header, and he slipped and went down. Oh, man, how unfortunate. It was coming down to the far end of the 6. Diallo was ready to put the noggin to it, and all of a sudden his feet disappeared from under him. Hudak serves it up from his 6 out, coming down to the center circle, and back for Goseles, but headed away by the Battery. Rolko in the center circle, feeds it forward to Patterson. Back to help out Menyonger as the ball is taken away. Palguda lays it back to Vallo. Stops it at his 6. 37th minute, still no score. Ball flighted out to the center circle. Delicott bumped from behind, and a foul is called. It'll be a restart for the Rhinos almost at the center dot. Tiger rolling it off to Menyonger. Turns it to the outside on the left wing for Salas. Leaves it back at the midfield line for Menyonger, and through the center circle to the near wing for Tinwa Bonsu. Long up the right wing side, and trying to get underneath it, Guppy, but it's headed away into the stands. And out by Nyland. Guppy for the throw-in quickly for the Rhinos. Goes short to Kremmelmeyer. On the near wing, he tries to sneak through. Pass off toward the middle for Tiger from 30 yards out. Long to the outside on the left wing for Diallo. Diallo. Far into the 18. Takes a shot for the short upper corner, but missed and puts it out over the end line. Goal kick. Goal kick for the Battery. 38th minute, no score. Again, during halftime, we'll be talking with Matt Ford about a whole lot of things that are coming up, and he'll have, I'm sure, some valuable information if you don't know it already, which he'll be passing along to you concerning things like opening night and tickets and so on. Cross midfield. Tiger in underneath it with the left foot. Sends it out to the midfield circle. Menyonger off in the far wing for Diallo. Turning back for the ball. Lays it off in the circle once again for Tiger Fitzpatrick. He'll play it back to his 35 for Palguda. Turns, looks around. Being watched closely, so plays it all the way back to Vallo from his 15 inside the box. Vallo with the right foot will hammer a line drive through midfield. That's knotted to the outside by Menyonger in the far wing for Diallo. Drawing it up the left wing side. Watched closely by Velton. Now he sneaks through to the end line, approaching the far end of the box. Here's a pass, about top, moving in Menyonger, and he couldn't quite reach it. Stepping up from the back row is Bonsu. Pass forward, but intercepted in turn, and carried away upfield down by the Battery. Moving up the left wing side, Lester Moore, chased by Bonsu. Moore down to the 20, turns back toward the middle, waits for help to catch up, has it 25 yards out of the middle, and they'll lay it off for Rolco to the outside of the far wing for Williams. At the far end of the 18, 10 yards out, a chip down inside the box. It's headed back toward the middle, and it's loose to Kraft, and the Rhinos carry it away. Kraft at the 18 sneaks it through, and nobody will get to it. The ball out of bounds. Throw in on the far side for the Battery from the Rochester 40. Alonzo to the outside for Williams on the far wing. We're in the 39th minute at Blackbot, and no score. Turned along the 18, a roller down inside, trying to get away. Patterson as he's bounced there by Bonsu, and the shot blocked away. Bonsu got the right foot on the kick by Patterson, and the ball is hammered up near midfield. Delicott, but can't reach it. Diallo takes it. Lays it away for Fitzpatrick, and the Rhinos have the ball under control, carried forward by Guffey. Approaching midfield, drops it back at his 35 for Tenwa Bonsu. On the near wing for Kremmelmeyer, he's the right back. Kremmelmeyer drawing it forward. We've seen him a lot playing the midfield, but he is used as a defender here with the Rhinos so far. On forward across midfield by Menyonger. Skips through, but one and another. Now looking for a through ball. Sends it up the right side to Delicott. Does not get to it. It's out over the touchline. Throw in near side for the Battery. Dropping it off for Richardson. Along his own 20 and toward the middle where it's taken by Aguari. Guard the middle. Retta. Marco Retta, remember him from Montreal and Toronto. And over the far wing. Carried forward by Velton. Chipped through midfield into Rhino territory. After it on the far wing as the ball is carried away. And back to take it away is Tiger Fitzpatrick. Rhinos have it. 41st minute. As we approach halftime. Rhinos did have an injury back in the 13th minute. A team at Charles went out on a head-to-head. Evidently coming up with a cut it looked like perhaps over the right eye. Haven't had a report as of yet to that injury, but he did have to leave and went to the locker room for repairs. Ball kicked deep in the far corner and out. Battery with the throw in from about 5 yards out on the far side. Williams to take the throw in. Approaching Alonzo, a short throw in to Alonzo. As he's double teamed, Kraft knocks it out. Another throw in from the same spot for the Battery. In the 41st minute, first of 3 meetings between these two teams. All crossed down in front, but headed away and out of the far side by Palguda. Another throw in, or no, this will be a corner kick as it did make it out over the end line. A corner kick for the Battery. Second corner of the match. The next time these two teams meet will be season home opener for the Rhinos in Rochester on May 17th, and then they'll play here again in Charleston on June 28th. Off the right wing side, a left-footed in-swinging kick high for the back post, and it is blocked back in front. A hit ball, and they score! Yes, it came back in front, was headed down inside the net, as the Battery have scored here. A service across the goal mouth to the back post, put back in front, and then finished off with a head ball. Might have been Patterson. We'll check to see who finally gets credit for that goal, but the Battery scoring here in the 42nd minute. The first goal of the game. 42nd minute. Yes, it was. Patterson gets credit for the goal. And Retta gets the assist. He's the one that played it from the back post back in front to Patterson, who finished it off. And Patterson scoring his first goal of the season. So it's 1-0 for the Battery. Kremmelmeyer plays it all the way back down to his 18 for Vallo. We're in the 43rd minute. Vallo with the right foot sends it out through midfield. Ellicott trying to go up for the header, but that's blocked away and taken back by the battery. So the Rhinos will not go all season without giving up a goal this year. And the ball played through midfield. Up in the air they go. Is knocked down as Bonsu, and the whistle blows, and it's a foul called on Patterson. Bonsu still down on the field. Holding on to his forehead. The referee has not called the Rhinos trainer, Dave DePasquale, out of the field as of yet. Other sponsors of these broadcasts include Dr. Donald Dudley, the official chiropractor for the Rhinos. His number 225-6430 for appointments. Call 225-6430. By the Pita Pit, where it's about fresh thinking and healthy eating. And by the Harrow East Athletic Club on the web at harroweast.com. So Bonsu is up. He's all right. And play will resume. Off on the far wing, the Rhinos have it. Kraft drops it back. Down to his 20 for Palguda. Ahead in the middle for Fitzpatrick. Turns it upfield on the left wing for Menyonger to the outside of the midfield line. Guppy switching sides, is now on the left flank. And the ball is dropped back into the middle for Tiger. Goes it along his 30 on the near side. Bonsu to the outside of the near wing. Diallo has moved over to the near side of the field as the ball is blocked into the center circle and volleyed forward. Dropped off for Alonso. Through ball up the left side. Here comes Richardson. Down inside the 18. Moving in a shot for the back post. He misses wide and not over the end line. Let's put it wide. Goal kick for the Rhinos. We're in the 45th minute here at Blackbaud Stadium. And as I have it at this point, 4 shots for Charleston and 3 for the Rhinos. Dallo placing the ball at his 6 with the right foot. Sends a low line drive kick out to the midfield line, but headed right back into Rhino territory. Then it's headed aside by Palguda for Kraft. Spin around, drops it off for Palguda at his 20. And off into the middle for Bonsu. Looks and switches to the outside on the right wing for Kremmelmeyer. Off in the middle once again. Tenwa Bonsu feeds it through to the center circle, taken by Fitzpatrick to the outside on the far wing, the left wing side for Kraft, approaching the midfield line. Kraft dribbling forward. Turns back again, looking to the outside, gives it off at the far wing for Guppy. Plays it back at the midfield line. Kraft, there's 3 minutes of additional time here. 3 minutes of additional time. As the ball is, and chipped down inside her at the far end of the 18, recovered in the corner, and driven up on the far touchline by Velton. Stepping in to knock it away. Guppy momentarily, but then the ball is hammered out through midfield by the battery. The Rhinos will chase it down. Palguda getting to it. His own 30, off on the left side to Kraft. Kraft coming in and back in the 14th minute to replace Atiba, who went out with an injury. Off into the middle for Bonsu. Giving it to Palguda as they're now side by side on the defensive row, and a pass forward to Menyonger. Turning it upfield to the midfield line. Menyonger drops it back on the near wing. Kremmelmeyer chips it off into the middle for Bonsu. Underneath it, drawing forward, now goes long to the outside, switching it to the left flank for Kraft. We're in stoppage time in the first half. 1-0 in favor of the battery. Rob back at the center circle for Tiger. Plays it. His own 45 now carried forward by Bonsu to the outside of the near wing for Kremmelmeyer. Off the right flank for Diallo on the attack. Diallo looking for a through ball to Menyonger up the near wing, being watched 1v1 with Nyland. Here's Menyonger, the near end of the box. Switches back to the left foot. Across, down inside, but the Rhinos can't get to it. Headed away and now booted by Alonso out and downfield. That one spinning out of bounds. Throw in for the Rhinos in front of their own player bench on the near side. Stoppage time, about a minute or so to go in the first half of play. Throw into Palguda to the outside on the left wing for Kraft, drawing it forward. Kraft on the attack on the far touchline for Guppy off the left wing. They'll serve it down inside to the 18 for Delicott. Up, couldn't quite reach it. Menyonger moving in. The ball blocked off on the near wing, is chased after by Diallo, but rolls out. And that off of the Rhinos, evidently. It'll be a throw in for the battery from the road 18 on the near side. Nearing the half, battery having scored in the 42nd minute to take a 1-0 lead. And the goal was scored by Randy Patterson, the 23-year-old from Hackensack, New Jersey. High throw in. Tiger Fitzpatrick for the Rhinos to the outside for Kraft, running onto the ball as he's watched by Williams. Plays it back for Guppy in the middle. Looks to the outside, turns back toward the middle, plays it into the center circle for Bonsu, and he'll switch it to the right wing for Kremmelmeyer. To the outside along the near wing, Delicott stepping in, able to back heel forward. to Ben Younger off of the near wing as he's watched by Alonso. Drops it off at the near corner of the 18. Krummelmeyer sneaks it through inside the 18. Diallo looking to pass it through, but there's no room there, and the ball is booted away into the Charleston player bench on the near side. Throw in quickly for the Rhinos. Kenwa Bansu, the throw in along midfield for Palguda. Through the center circle on the left wing to Kraft. Time running out of the first half. Kraft will hammer it down to the 18 as Delicott after it, but couldn't get the foot on it. Up in the air they go, but the ball is kicked away and out through midfield. And there's the whistle. So one half has been played. We've completed the first half of play. And as the half ends, Mauricio Celis dropped to the pitch, and he's down on the field. I'm not sure if he got a knock or a leg. But anyway, the Rhinos trainer, Dave DiVasquati, is out to come out and take a look at Mauricio Celis, who is down on the pitch. So we've completed one half. And here at the Blackbutt Stadium in Charleston, after a half, it's the Charleston Battery 1 and the Rochester Rhinos nothing. And this is the Rhinos Broadcast Network. The Rhinos now shoot to the net to my left. And it is Scott Dallow in goal down to my right. The Battery looking for their first win of the season. Winless thus far with a loss and 2 ties. And the Rhinos, of course, playing in their first match of the season here tonight. As we're underway in the second half, as it got away from Fitzpatrick and recovered, it's Patterson up the right wing side, the goal scorer in the game. Spins it off of the right side, has it down to the Rochester 30. Pass off in the middle. Alonso back to the outside once again for Patterson. Cross along the 18, down inside. Ball knocked down is loose and played away by Palguda. Turn forward. Rhinos have it. Celis up the left side. Long delivery downfield. Trying to sneak in behind Delicott, but it's chased down and played to the outside by Aguirre. And then with the left foot booted off of the far wing into the stand. So a throw in the far side for the Rhinos from 40 yards out. Krummelmeyer with the throw in along the far wing and up the right side. Pulled down to the 18, to the 10 on the far wing. Diallo with a right-footed cross, but blocked out over the end line. A corner kick for the Rhinos. Rochester corner had 3 in the first half. The Battery had 2 and made one of them pay off for the only goal scored in the game. It'll be Guppy moving over for the corner kick. Off the right wing side, left-footed delivery would be an in-swinging kick. Just getting started in the second half of play. And the Rhinos traveling to Minnesota on Sunday. And our broadcast will begin at 6:30 Rochester time Sunday evening. Here's Guppy. Low service in the box, and that's when headed away in the far wing. We'll skip out of bounds. Throw in for the Rhinos. Guppy up with the ball. A quick throw in. Delicott flicks it off into the box, and it's headed along the 15 and nodded out of the box on the near side. Younger first touch on it, a left footer, but it goes wide of the right post and out over the end line. So a dribbler of a shot wide by Younger, and a goal kick for the Battery. 47th minute, 1-0 lead for Charleston. Again, the first of 3 meetings this year between these two teams. Ball flighted out to the midfield line, is headed forward by Celis, tipped forward. Looked like a handball, but no whistle, and the ball carried forward by Diallo. Off the right wing, pulling it down to the 25, looking back toward the middle, spins around and lays it to the outside. Celis after, but won't get there as that one sneaks through and out over the touchline. Throw in for the Battery in their own end of the field from deep in the left wing corner. Throw in, high looper on the far touchline, where it skipped out of bounds, and it'll be a throw-in on the return for the Rhinos, taken by Krummelmeyer. To his own side of midfield for Palguda. He'll feed it out to the midfield line. Tiger Fitzpatrick taking it there. Will switch it to the near side of the field, the left flank for Kraft. Works it out to the midfield line and gives it off to Younger. Turns it through midfield to the outside of the near wing for Guppy. Lays it back for Kraft, his own side of midfield. And then he'll turn it off into the middle along the 35, where it sneaks by Palguda, but picked up by Bansu. Trying the right side now. Forward comes Celis. Mauricio Celis dropping it back. Bansu takes it there, switching again to the near wing for Kraft. Drawing it forward from Younger. Seems like the Rhinos having a little problem getting across midfield as the Battery have a wall built up along the midfield line. Finally, Guppy has it into Battery territory. Sneaks it off toward the middle from Younger. As he hops over a player, draws it to the outside for Guppy. Turns back to the right foot side, looking to sneak it through, but deflected off in the middle. Delicott spins back. The left foot lays it to the outside. At the near end of the 18. Drawn down. A feed in front. And Hudak up in the air comes down with it at his 3 on that service by Guppy. So the Rhinos get it into the box, but Hudak is there. He's looking, of course, for his first shutout of the season. Ball high, flighted through midfield. Kraft hits it aside, but then when it rolls out of bounds on the near wing and out. Hudak, back in 03, led this league in shutouts, had 11 one season. There's a former Rhino. High looping throw-in along the near side by Velton, has taken down his Moore, and the ball out of bounds. It's off of the battery, so a throw in for the Rhinos. Kraft along his 20 in the middle for Bonsu. Begins to draw it forward. We're now in the 50th minute here at Blackbaud Stadium, and a 1-0 lead for the battery, having scored back in the 42nd. Turned forward by Menyonger, trying to spin it behind Rolko, but it's taken away. Now as Rolko goes down, the ball is recovered by the Rhinos. Sellis up the right side, sneaks the ball through, as chasing after the end line. Diallo, but he won't get there. That rolls out over the end line and gives the battery a goal kick. Other sponsors of these broadcasts this season include Foodlink, Abundant Shared, Family First Federal Credit Union, Good Thing Throw Here, and by Freetime Magazine, Western New York's art and entertainment guide. Hudak with a kick, right-footed, high floater coming down just across the midfield line. Over top of Sellis, but nodded forward off the far wing, and after it goes Moore. Drawing it back to the outside and played off into the middle for Patterson, as he's chased there by Tiger. On the far wing to Alonso, then booted away, deflected near midfield, but again driven forward by the battery. Off in the middle, trying to turn forward. It's Richardson spinning back to the left footer. Rolko at the far end of the 18, trying to sneak it through in front, but blocked away by Bonsu. Popped up in the air, and underneath it, Kraft, hit it up in the air by Moore, and getting to it, it's left-footed away out of the box by Pelguda, and off of the near wing. Guppy will first time it forward out near midfield. Turning after the ball goes Delicott, as he spun around and held off by Retta, who drops it to his own side of midfield for Aquara. Through midfield to Moore, taken down by Pelguda, and he's still down as the ball is carried forward by the Rhinos. Tiger to the outside, Guppy dropping it back along his 35. Kraft off into the middle, at his own 20 for Pelguda. He'll turn it to the right side. Bonsu on the wing for Kremmelmeyer, approaching midfield. Across the midfield line for Sellis. Draws it back to his own side of midfield. Once again, Tenwa Bonsu. T-Bone, they call him. Off of the near wing, carried forward by Fitzpatrick, and across midfield for Guppy, stepping off the touchline, trying to come away with the ball. And as he's tackled, taken down, the ball is recovered by the battery, and then in turn taken away by Rolko for Moore. To the outside on the near wing, Williams at the near end of the 18 all by himself. Coming over to cut him down was Sellis, and the ball headed away out of the box by Bonsu. Long service out of the far wing for Diallo, checking back to help out. As he's bothered there, turns off toward the middle, being chased by Nyland. Drops it for Menyonger. To the outside on the right wing for Sellis, has to turn back for the ball to the midfield line, keeps it in play, and lays it off for Kremmelmeyer. Across the midfield line, Menyonger. Long service downfield, as it's headed away by Retta, who will chase it down. Draws it forward to his 35. Looking it around, and a pass into the center circle for Alonso. As he's taken down, foul is called on Tiger, and a restart for a battery in the center circle. 53rd minute now at Blackbaud Stadium, and a 1-0 lead for Charleston. Again, a loss and 2 ties for the battery. To the outside on the near wing. On the near side into Rhino territory, turning back toward the middle. Williams sneaks it through, and advancing is Rolko to the 18. Coming back to cut him off is Sellis. Nice job of getting back by Mauricio Sellis, and the ball played out near midfield. Recovered again by the battery. Dropped to his own side of midfield for Aquara to Retta. As he turns, looks, drops it back once again to Aquara. Played for Charlotte in the second division last year, 22 games. 78 games of MLS experience in Real Salt Lake, Columbus, and the Metro Stars. Got a lot of experience on this Charleston team also. Played to the end line. It rolls out over the end line. And a goal kick for the Rhinos. And of course, Patterson of the battery is not too happy with that call. So a goal kick for Scott Vallow. Placing the ball. It's a pretty good sized back four for the battery. Aguara 6 foot. Tim Felton at 6 foot. You've got Marco Retta at 6'2", and Kevin Nyland at 6'3". Out through midfield. Cover to the midfield line as Rolko is then tackled by Guppy. A foul is called, and Guppy will draw the yellow card. First caution of the night against the Rhinos. First caution of the season against the Rhinos. It comes here in the 54th minute. So there's been one caution against each team thus far. And the Battery restart to their own side of midfield. They've not had, did not have any substitutions at the half. The only substitution earlier on in the 14th minute when Atiba of the Rhinos came out injured and Nate Kraft went in. On the 35, ball cleared aside. Diallo up with it as he'll draw it forward. Ahmed Diallo turns it to the outside on the right flank. And with it, Kremmelmeyer off the wing and a hit from Manyanger. Back toward the midfield line for Diallo. Turns back, drops it off once again for Bonsu. Looks upfield, but no room, so plays it laterally off on the near side and carried forward by Kraft out to midfield. Sneaks it through to Tiger as he's grabbed onto by Alonso. The ball knocked away. Play goes on. Kraft dropping it back to his own side of midfield for Palguda. Looking for the switch. Plays it off into the middle for Bonsu. 55th minute and a 1-0 lead for the Battery. And Younger tipping into the outside. Kremmelmeyer across midfield. Kremmelmeyer, a former Charleston Battery player, carried forward now toward the middle by Diallo. Switching it off on the near side for Guffey. Has it 30 yards out. Looks for a cross from the back post, moving in. Delicate couldn't quite get up for it, and the ball blocked to the end line is scooped up by Hudak. So Guffey trying to feed Diallo. He went up for it, but just skimmed over the top of his head. Cleared off in the far wing, brought ahead by the Battery. On the attack, into Rhino territory. Rolled out of bounds on the far side, so the Rhinos will have the throw in from their own 40 on the far wing. With Kremmelmeyer, one of the shorter players on the team at 5'9", 165, a 25-year-old from Edwardsville, Illinois. Played last year at Portland in the first division. Cross midfield for Delicate in the center circle. Zone side of midfield, giving it off to Bonsu. To the outside of the right wing, Kremmelmeyer moving forward. Looks toward the middle, looking to get away. Still has it. Rolls it off in the middle for Sellis as he is tackled away from the ball by Patterson. Or Williams make that. Williams is taken down and a foul is called on the Rhinos. Free kick for Charleston in the center circle. More sponsors of our broadcasts all season long include Lamont Awards and Apparel. Your choice for honoring your team, company, and special person. By Time Warner. Get all in one. Digital cable, digital phone, and Roadrunner. One package. Save hundreds. And by Nothnagel, Rochester's full-service realtor. Out through midfield, the service down to the Rochester 25, blocked away. Off of Moore on the far wing. Still the Battery get it. Richardson crossed down inside. Has the ball booted in the air, and that is six. Kraft with it. Will drive it out to midfield. Rhinos covering up in their own box. Turning back for it goes Retta. As he drops it off and lays it off into the middle for Nakwara. Carried forward, turned to the outside on the left flank. But drop back at the midfield line. Away with it comes Diallo for the Rhinos as he spins around. Gives it off to Kremmelmeyer. Continues wide on the right wing. Turns to the outside trying to get away. But blocked by Nyland. And up in the air comes back to midfield. And Tiger will then draw it back to his own side of midfield for Kenwell Bonsu. At the midfield circle. Sellis. His own 40 to Palguda in the middle. Off to the right side for Bonsu. Head to midfield for Tiger. Draws it now into Charleston territory. Looks through and now switching with the left side deep to the outside for Guppy getting to the ball. However, offside is in the air. The flag across the way in the air. So the Rhinos are offside for the first time on the night. And the whistle to stop play. Substitution coming up. Z. Roberto will be in and Sellis is coming out here in the 58th minute. So Mauricio Sellis again is out in the 58th. And Z. Roberto enters the match. His first game in a Rhinos uniform. Of course, we've seen him around over the years in Montreal. An outstanding player. Z. Roberto is now on the pitch. 9th year pro. Seen him in Vancouver. Also, he played for Detroit in the MISL. Montreal, 16 games in 05, 2 years in Hershey in the A-League, 3 years in Brazil. Off on the near wing and turned to the outside. Patterson, his own side of midfield. Now a long chip up the right wing as the ball sneaks in behind. Turning back for it goes Kraft. But getting to it first is Moore. Turns at the near end of the 18. Spins it back to the left foot side. Cross and down inside. Headed away up in the air by Kremmelmeyer. And out over the end line. It's a corner kick for the Battery. Corner kick off the far side. That's the left wing side. Looks like it'll be Alfonso moving over for the corner again. One of those to defect from the Cuban national team. Osvaldo Alonso along with Lester Moore. Alfonso, a 22-year-old from San Cristobal in Cuba. Here's a right-footed service in for the near post and headed away out of the box on the far side by Palguda, out of bounds, and a throw in on the far wing for the Battery. 59th minute, 1-0 lead for Charleston. Rhinos trying to get some pressure going here to get back in this match. Lay to the outside again, left-footed service in for the back post. It's out over the end line. Goal kick for the Rhinos. Rochester goal kick. So let's see, Z. Roberto in the midfield is playing side by side, it looks like, with Menyonga. Tiger a withdrawn midfielder, and Guppy wide to the outside on the left. Z. Roberto moves wide to the outside on the right, and Menyonga in the middle. Up front, of course, still Diallo and Delicott. Ahead with it, Kraft approaching the midfield line, sneaks it through into the center circle for Delicott. As he'll turn it to Tiger into the outside on the right wing for Kremmelmeyer and across the midfield line. In the middle, Z. Roberto turning back for the ball. To the outside once again for Kremmelmeyer. As he spun around, lost the ball momentarily, recovers and drops it to his own side of midfield. Take it up. Palguda on the near wing, Kraft up the left wing side, approaching the midfield line. Now 61st minute, ahead for Guppy. Looking to sneak the ball through, but the lane closed down quickly, so he has to drop it back in midfield. Palguda into the center circle for Tiger. Looks to approach the midfield line and does. Looks to the outside. Tried to pass it through, but the ball blocked away by Moore, and it's recovered again by the Rhinos. Now Bonsu up the right wing side for Kremmelmeyer. To the 35, being chased to the outside, turns to get away from Richardson. Long cross down inside, along the 18, but booted away and out on the far wing. Nodded forward to the midfield line. Palguda will settle it for Bonsu. Pass ahead for Menyonga, turns upfield, trying to sneak it through, but Alonso intercepts and carries it away. Here come the Battery on the attack. Alonso to the outside on the left wing, drawn forward by Moore. Looks back toward the middle, has it along the Rochester 35. Now he stumbles and goes down, and the ball is knocked loose in the far wing. He's out over the touchline. It'll be a throw-in for the Rhinos from their own 35 on the far side. Opening night at home for the Rhinos, again coming up on Saturday, May 17th against the St. Charleston Battery. Don't forget former American Idol star Bo Bice will kick things off on a Rockin' with the Rhinos concert series coming up, and many of the great nights of entertainment at Paytech Park. But make sure you're there for the first one. That's happening on Saturday, May 17th. Tickets are available. Not only for that night, but for the entire season. Season tickets are also available. And the game tickets go on sale tomorrow morning, 10 to 2 at Paytech Park, the box office. That's tomorrow from 10 to 2. Guppy 1v1 with Velton. Ball kicked away out of bounds by Velton. Quick throw in for the Rhinos. Guppy to Kraft, right back to Guppy. And the Rhinos assistant coach player will then spin it through the center circle. Checking back at the ball goes Menyonga. He's chased by Patterson. Menyonga to the midfield line. Sneaks it through. Z. Roberto on the attack. As he'll turn it to the outside, up the right wing, running onto the ball is Kremmelmeyer. Fire into the 18, across down in front, but blocked away. Again, Kremmelmeyer, fire into the box, turns with the left foot, takes a shot, but is blocked away, and up into the stands on the far side. Throw in from 25 out. Kremmelmeyer far into the 18 to Menyonga as he runs into Alonso going for the ball, and the foul is called as Menyonga pulled down Alfonso. So a free kick for the Battery far into the 18 from 15 yards out. By the way, Z. Roberto, as everybody refers to him, is actually Zay Roberto. And the Zay is short for Jose. That's a couple of his middle names. He has about 6,000 names. And a couple of them include Jose Roberto. And that's what he goes by, Zay Roberto. But it's just so much easier to say Z. Roberto. Cross midfield. Ball dropped back down inside the 18. Hudak plays it out of the box, but gets to it with the left foot, hammers it out across the midfield line. Skips out of bounds, throw in near midfield on the far side for the Rhinos. Kremmelmeyer dropping it back in the middle for Bonsu. Moves it along his 35. Palguda now turns toward the center circle, but lays it to the outside on the near wing for Kraft. Drawing it forward near midfield, plays it back once again to Palguda. He'll look upfield and then off in the middle for Tiger. Toward the midfield line, Menyonga looks downfield, sneaks the through ball to Diallo as he's tied up, triple teamed. The ball got away and now carried off by Patterson, and he's taken down by Diallo, and a foul is called. Free kick for the Battery. 45 yards out off the right wing side. 64th minute at Black Lodge Stadium, and 1-0 lead for the Battery. Don't forget, after the game, Joe Giuliano and Soccer Sam will be taking your phone calls, and the new number to call, 222-4369. 222-4369 is the number for the post-game calls. Long service by Retta, delivers down to the 18, but headed away and out of the box by Delicott to near midfield, where it's settled and controlled by the Battery. Off the left wing side, drawn forward up the wing, but the ball out of bounds. Z. Roberto gets a push, and gets a push in, and no call is made. The ball rolls out, and a throw in for the Rhinos. Looks like a substitution coming up for the Battery, as getting ready to check into the match is Aaron King, 23-year-old from Denver. Off of the near wing, recovered by Guppy. Plays it back to his 35 in the middle for Palguda. Beginning to dribble forward. The Rhinos, at the moment, not getting much pressure on. In fact, having a little trouble just getting through midfield. As spun forward by Younger, then nodded off into the middle, through ball, but down inside the box, pouncing on it is Hudak, is on the doorstep, and approaching him is Delicott. Hudak has the ball. Volleys it out through midfield. Mansu heads it back to the midfield circle. Settled there by Z. Roberto. Turns back, looking to get away. Plays it to the outside, catching up with the ball across midfield. On the attack is Kremmelmeyer. They'll then lay it back to his own side of midfield for Bansu. Switching it up off on the near wing, and underneath it is Guppy. As he's challenged, turns back toward the middle, 1v1, trying to get away from Patterson. Ball tipped out by Patterson, throw in for the Rhinos. Whistle stops play as the substitution will be made. So into the match is King, and coming out will be Lester Moore. So Moore is out, King is in the 66th minute. King with a lot of touches on the ball, but didn't produce any goals. So King is in, and Moore is out. Lester King listed as a forward, 6'1", 180. They look a lot alike, those two. Play to the outside after the throw in for Kraft, and he spins to come away with the ball. And Younger dropping it back near midfield. Palguda in the middle. Tiger takes it there, being chased. It gets away from Patterson, drops it back in the center circle, and turned to the right side. Bonsu to Tiger, back in the center circle once again. He'll switch it to the left wing side. In underneath it is Guppy. Up in the air, got the left foot on it. Ball comes down. He'll tip it aside for Kraft. Rhinos still have it. Younger looks toward the middle. Pass off to Tiger Fitzpatrick. One touch forward to Z. Roberto. Drops it off for Fitzpatrick again. Switching to the outside of the right wing for Kremmelmeyer. Pulling it down to the 25. Far into the box. Trying to look for the cross. Draws it near the end line. Here's a cross to the back post. And tipped away by Hudak out the near side of the 6. Played back in the middle. Rhinos after it. Tiger moving in. Right-footed kick, but it's knocked down to the 10. And the ball booted away out of the box. Moving in underneath it, Palguda is able to head it forward to Younger. No, the foul is called. Now Palguda up the back of Patterson. Looks like a fairly clean header, but the call is made. 67th minute. So the free kick for the Battery. Cross midfield into Rhino territory. On the restart, Alonso plays it off on the left wing side and across midfield. Toward the middle, it dropped back to the outside of the midfield line. Nyland takes it there. As he's chased along midfield by Z. Roberto. Ball played off into the center circle, and Rolko will lay it to the outside and on the near wing. Cross midfield, Belton, as the ball tackled away by Guppy, and then 10 minutes after the play was by, the player went down. Here's the ball in, headed in, Pittsburgh away. Nice save by Scott Dallow. A head ball for the lower corner on the left side. Dallow diving for it, got the right hand on it to tip it aside. Great save by Dallow, and it'll be a corner kick for the Battery. The Dallow form of old right there. Makes a tremendous save in the face of the corner kick off the left wing side. As the fans are starting to pound their feet now, making a little more noise. Alonso once again for the corner kick. 69th minute. Here's the service low in the box, but headed away and out by Delicott. In underneath it, Richardson turning back, draws it to the midfield line. And the return upfield by the Battery. Headed off in the middle and to the outside on the near wing, and after it is Patterson. Turns back toward the middle, looking to get away from Guppy in the middle, getting a foot on it. Bonsu knocks it away, and Tiger feeds it forward to Guppy. He'll drop it off along his 18 for Palguda. And then he'll send a boomer out downfield. Knotted again into Rhino territory by Aguari. It's recovered again by the battery. On a give and go to the outside for Retta along the near wing. Marco Retta drawing it forward. Watched by Tiger. To the outside on the near wing. And now working toward the end line is King. 1v1 with Kraft at the end line. A roller across down to the 6. Booted away by Palguda into the stands on the near side. Throw in for the battery. Another substitution coming up. Richardson out. And checking in now is David Kenga, a 25-year-old from Kenya. That's Kenga from Kenya. And time of the substitution, the 70th minute. So Richardson out. That's the second sub of the game for the battery. Throw in on the near side to be taken by Belton. Up the right wing and getting a left foot on a Palguda to knock it down. Tiger carries it away. And then he'll just spin it up into the stands as he really had no room either. So a throw in once again for the battery on the near side of the field. Kanga, a rookie out of Winthrop University. And he's from Mombasa, Kenya. Throw in deep to the end line, in underneath it. As the ball blocked to the end line. Tiger couldn't get there in time. That's out over the end line. A corner kick once again for the battery. 1-0. Charleston having scored back in the 42nd minute. A goal scored by Patterson. Played again for the New York Red Bulls last year. Corner kick, right wing side. Left foot kicker, and an in-swinging kick. Served up. Short for the near post is headed away by Delica. In the air on the near side and played all the way out to the 35. Recovered by Alonso. Draws it forward down to the Rochester 20. Spun again to the outside. Williams with it. Long chip for the back post. And as the ball is knocked away. And Guppy run over from behind. A foul is called as the ball rolls out. It'll be a goal kick. Or was that Kremmelmeyer? It was Kremmelmeyer evidently run over from behind. He's up and all right. 72nd minute. Goal kick for Vallow. 1-0 in favor of the battery. Rhinos needing a goal here to try and get things going. Vallow with the right foot delivers out through midfield. Dedicott able to flick forward. Diallo couldn't get to it. That's up in the air. Comes down and recovered again by Alonso for the battery. With the right foot drives it out through midfield. And the through ball off of the far wing is chased after. Rod forward by Kenga near the end line. Looking for the cross down in front, but blocked away out over the end line. Nice job of getting a foot on it by Bonsu. And it creates, however, a corner kick once again for the battery. Charleston has applied a fair amount of pressure tonight on their corner kicks. They've been somewhat dangerous. In fact, the only goal of the match did come on a corner kick. Corner off the left wing side once again to be taken by Osvaldo Alonso, and they call him Ozzy. Right-footed kicker, in-swinger. Once again, a low kick for the near post. That's headed up in the air. Up they go again, but punched away by Vallow out of the box. All the way out to around the 35. Popped up in the air by Aguari off in the far wing. Trying to draw it out on the far side once again. Was spun toward the middle where it's recovered. Spinning around Patterson looking for the through ball. Booted away by Palguda on the far wing and recovered once again by the battery. Most of the action of late has been in Rhinos territory. Ball flighted through the box out on the near side. In underneath it to keep it in play. Nyland turning back as Kraft after him. Gets tied up and it rolls along the 18 and Tiger able to play it out on the near side for Guppy. As he's chased by Patterson, dropping it back. Rhinos, of course, this is their first game of the season. Maybe game conditioning might not be there at full yet. And it's awful tough to play your first full 90 in game conditions. You can play 90 all you want in preseason, but it's not quite the same as actual game condition. So the tiring factor might be playing a little bit right here, as again, seems like most of the pressure is being applied by the battery right now. This is their fourth game of the season. Back for it, Kremmelmeyer's turned to the outside, then biked forward down into the 18 and headed off in the box by Bonsu nicely as he dove for it. Vallow throws it out on the near side for Nate Kraft. Working ahead on the left wing to the outside for Guppy. Approaching midfield. Takes a look, crossing to the center circle for Tiger. In underneath it. Tiger turning to the outside along the near wing once again. Now the word right now for Charleston in certainly the Rhinos are hoping it holds true here tonight, as the Battery so far in their games this season have given up several late goals as near the end of the match. They've allowed the opposition to come back and nail one. So certainly the Rhinos here in the last 15 minutes or so are needing to come up with a goal. Kraft looking around, drops it to his own side of midfield, taken by Palguda, and through the center circle to Bonsu. On the right wing, beginning to draw it forward. Across midfield, Z. Roberto turns to get away from Alonso, still has it. Z. Roberto to the outside on the right wing for Kremmelmeyer, is overlapped. Drawing it down to the 18, far into the box. Turning on, trying to get to the left foot, but he's taken down. No call made, the ball brought away. Turning out into the middle. Tiger tried to tackle it, but it's carried forward. Rocco turns it to the outside of the near wing and continuing on across midfield is Williams. Looking to sneak the ball through, turn to the outside for Belton. At the near end of the box, drops it back on top, and after goes Williams once again. Near end of the box, turns it to the outside. From 5 yards out, across by Belton, down inside, the ball blocked through. At the far end of the 18, recovered by the Battery. Look for the roller on the 6, but that's kicked away by Bonsu. On the far wing and in underneath it, Alonso. Turning it down along the 20, trying to get loose from Z. Roberto. Drops it on top. Rocco with a roller in, and it's tipped and goes wide and chased down by Dallo at his end line. Comes up with the ball. 75th minute. 1-0 the Battery on top. Dallo rolls it out the near side for Nate Kraft up the left wing. Along his own 35. Gives it off to Van Younger. Looks around, goes to the outside, but stepping up to intercept. Carry forward by Kenga on the left wing side, and across in front, blocked away by Bonsu. Plays it along the 18, headed up in the air, underneath of Patterson. Out is Battle, cuts up in the air, booted away out the line. Great job sliding back in the net to kick it away is Kremmelmeyer. Tremendous job right there by Kremmelmeyer. He came back and the ball got his right foot on it, kicked it away as it had hopped over top of Vallow. Out near midfield, ball recovered by the Battery once again. Oh, was that close. Now it's carried forward by the Battery. Off on the left wing side. Working again into Rhino territory along the 18, but Kraft recovers the ball. Feeds it forward to Fitzpatrick. Turns back. His pass to the outside of the near wing, and after it, Guppy. Dropping it off once again. Where it's taken by Kraft. Rolling along is 25 in the middle for Bonsu. We're in the 76th minute. And a 1-0 lead for the Battery. So far, the Rhinos have made 2 player changes, and the Battery also 2. Cross midfield to Diallo. Drops it off in the center circle. Tiger to Menyonga. Quickly had to feed it forward as he was bothered there by Patterson, and the ball is taken away by the Battery. In midfield, cross midfield. King sneaks it to the outside as he gets by Kraft. Off the right wing. On the attack, down to the 20. King on the outside, now watched by Palguda. Cross along the 18, down inside, but it floats through to the far end of the 6, and is chased down by Vallow. Picks it up at the end line. Other sponsors of these broadcasts include the Distillery, now open in Greece and Ridge Road and 390. By the Ferris Group, the best seat in the house is your Ferris apartment. See them all at ferris.com. And also by the Messenger Post, now more than ever. Now through midfield. Recovered by Menyonga in the center circle. Drops it off for Fitzpatrick. Goes long on the left wing side to Guffey. Steps in at the 35. Looking to sneak it through to Delicott. In behind, but the ball recovered. Now Delicott will take it away at the near corner of the 18. Lays it to the outside for Guffey. Drawing it down to the 10. Looks toward the box. Pulling it to the end line. Left footed cross to the back post. Up in the air they go, but the ball booted, and it's grabbed off his 3 by Hudak. And it wasn't booted. It was headed in the air. Looks like Spicer getting ready to check into the match for the Battery. A high kick coming down just across midfield by Hudak. Big bounce of the ball. Palguda with the left foot will bike it out across midfield. Turning in underneath it, Alfonso to the outside. Taken and dropped back by Williams. Hurts covered Belton off into the middle. And almost got away from Retta as he's chased there by Zé Roberto and out on the near wing. That one off the foot of Williams and out. Throw it to midfield for the Rhinos and a substitution. Spicer is in and Williams is out in the 78th minute. Williams is off. Spicer, Darren Spicer, 24-year-old from Diamond Bar, California, played for the Minnesota Thunder last year. Palguda to the outside on the near wing. Spicer moves in at the right midfield spot. Ball is pounded high in the air. Delicott in underneath it. Able to block it forward and come away with the ball. Trying to block it through as it turned to the outside, and Guppy had stopped his overlapping run. So the ball just rolls out over the end line. A goal kick for the Battery. Delicott had the yellow, trying to sneak through, but couldn't find an open spot as the lanes were closed down nicely by the battery. Charleston actually has played an excellent defensive game. Off in the center circle, Zay Roberto with a pass off to Tiger. Turns back for the ball, feeds it to the outside of the near wing for Guppy, able to slip it through in the middle for Menyonger. Pass off and moving in, Zay Roberto had to turn back to the ball, gets it to Menyonger. Now it's switched to the outside of the right wing for Krummelmeyer. To the 20, looking back along the 18, trying to get it to the left foot, sneaks it across the line for Zay Roberto. It's cross blocked, rolling to the end line, but there is Hudak to scoop it up and hold on. Now the 80th minute, as time becoming the factor here for the Rhinos, trailing 1-0. The only goal of the match scored back in the 42nd. Long ball flighted through midfield and turning back toward Palguda. Draws it down at his 35. Turns and looks upfield down to the outside on the near wing for Nate Kraft. Pass ahead for Tiger. To the midfield line, a long chip forward. Ball is through, but nobody there for the Rhinos making a run. Goes down into the 18. There it's picked up by Hudak. He waits till Delicott applies pressure, and then Hudak, of course, wasting as much time as possible, picks up the ball. Hudak, that sidewinder of a kick of his, a high volley kick through midfield. Headed in the air by Bonsu out of the near wing and taken by Kraft. Guppy on the left wing approaching midfield. Tried to sneak it through, but is blocked away and out. Throw in on the near side for the Rhinos. Guppy. He'll be one of the older guys in the league this year, now at 39 years of age, out of Winchester, England. Still in the match as we're into the 81st minute. Carried across midfield by Bonsu. Pass forward, but blocked away by Alfonso. And here go the battery on the other way. Through ball on the left wing side. Breaking down inside. Moving in shot. They score. Left-footed kick in off the far side. And who was it? Was it King? I got to find out who that was to put it away. But a through ball. Nice feet. Upfield. And the battery now have taken a 2-0 lead. Goal in the 81st minute as Charleston puts a little icing on the cake here tonight, and the battery have taken a 2-0 lead. So, Rhinos now are going to have to do something in a big hurry, as they have, we're into the 82nd minute now, and 2-0 in favor of the battery. Charleston looking for its first win of the season. All right, pulled forward now on the kick from center. Menyonger off to Zay Roberto. Here's the call on that goal. Yes, it is. King gets the goal. And Alonso will get the assist. All right, so King with his first goal of the season. And the Rhinos on the attack. Guppy with a cross down inside, but that's blocked away at the near end of the box. And getting to it, Belton will then turn and spin it out toward midfield. Kraft is taken down and a foul is called. So a restart for the Rhinos from 35 yards out. A hit for Tiger. Turns into the outside, but the referee says, no, bring the ball back. So King on the season now with a goal and an assist. And Alonso coming up with his first point here for the battery. Service down inside the box. Booted away out over the end line by Belton, and a corner kick for the Rhinos. 2-0 in favor of the battery. We're in the 83rd minute. And the service off the left wing side to be taken by Guppy, so a left-footed kicker will be an outswinging kick. Goes short for the near post, and the ball is headed away out of the box. Tiger in underneath it, but couldn't get to it, and it's carried forward upfield by the battery. Patterson on the right side, draws it off in the middle, and Spicer tried to slow up for the ball, slipped and lost his footing and went down. Turned the other way, Krummelmeyer sends it downfield, but Belton heads it off into the middle for Alonso. As he spins back of the ball, taken down by Palguda. Foul is called. So a free kick for the battery from their own 35. Substitution, John Ball getting ready to check into the match, and coming out will be Krummelmeyer. Krummelmeyer having done an excellent job tonight at the right back position, being called off, and John Ball going in here in the 84th minute. Of course, Ball, the veteran of many years now in this game. Krummelmeyer is out. So a defender coming off and a midfielder going in. As the Rhinos needing to start to apply as much pressure as possible. We're now in the 84th minute and now trailing 2-0. Set to go. Spicer taking the kick with the right footer. Is that Retta? No, that's Retta. Long kick downfield. And the ball headed away by Zé Roberto on the far wing, but recovered again by Nyland of the Battery and then booted away out of bounds to the far side. It'll be a throw in back near midfield for the Rhinos. 84th minute. I'm running out. At midfield, Zé Roberto. He's the ball. John Ball with the throw in for Tiger. As he approaches the midfield circle now, crosses the midfield line and chips one forward to the outside of the right wing, and Diallo can't get to it. That's spun off on the far wing by Nyland up into the stands. Chased back near midfield by Ball, turns to the midfield line and tipped aside and now recovered. Bonsu will drive it across midfield for Menyonger to the outside for Zé Roberto. Rhinos on the attack. To the 35, off in the middle on a return pass to Menyonger. Lays it out to his left for Tiger, but it got away from him. And the ball kicked forward, stepping up with the play. Kraft to the outside for Guppy. Off the near wing, 20 yards out. Looking for a cross, but blocked away. Off the defender, belted out over the end line. Another corner kick for the Rhinos. To be taken by Guppy. 85th minute. 2-0 Charleston. Scored in the 42nd and in the 81st. Guppy, another outswinger with a left-footed kick. Into the middle of the box. Headed up in the air and out of the box on the near side. Chased down by Patterson. Gets the right foot on it, then just hammers it out through midfield. Vallow all the way out to around the 35. Takes a look downfield with the right foot. Drives it through midfield. Delicott tried to flick on, but couldn't get up for it as he's bumped, and it comes off of the near wing. Tiger to the outside for Guppy. As he's taken down, trying to get back up, but the ball is booted away and out of bounds. Throw in on the near side for the Rhinos. As Guppy comes up a little lame, perhaps a pulled muscle on his right foot. Trying to stretch out that right leg. Substitution, Millward coming in, and Guppy is out here in the 86th minute. So Guppy in the 86th is out, and newcomer Evan Millward is in. Here's a player I think you fans are going to like. He doesn't stop. Here's a left-footed kick in. Hudak off the right hand, tips it up over the crossbar and out. The shot taken by Diallo off the left foot. Great opportunity for the Rhinos, but Hudak makes the save. A corner kick for Rochester. Menyonger off the right wing side to take the corner. Set. Serves it up. Low into the box, but that's kicked away and out top. Ball in underneath it from 35 yards out. Lays it back in the center circle for Kraft. Takes a look downfield. And now a chip coming down inside the 18, but headed away and out top again. Anderson nods it off into the middle, carried forward. Alonso looking forward, trying to draw it as he's watched by Ball. Spins it to the outside, up the left wing, and a feed across the 6. Out the near end of the box. Chased down. Spicer back inside, and it's grabbed and hands on to. It was an offside call. Offside against the Battery. So the ball brought away upfield by Tiger. Into the center circle for Delicott. Dropping it off once again for Zé Roberto. 87th minute. Rhinos need 2. Out to the outside on the right wing for Ball across midfield. Drives it off in the middle for Zé Roberto. Turning back to the ball into the center circle for Menyonger. Looks downfield, and a long chip trying to sneak through to Delicott. Down inside the 18, Delicott moving in, spins, tried to get it back to the right foot. But covering up and cutting off the lane was Belton, drives it away and out of bounds. Throw in on the near side for the Rhinos. Diallo from 15 yards out on the near wing to take the throw in. Plays it off, out to the 25 for Menyonger. Turns back toward the middle, right foot service down inside, but headed away out of the box. After it, Zé Roberto from 25. To the outside on the right wing for Ball. Pulls it back to the middle. Left-footed chip down inside through the box, but no help there. That spins out through the end of the 18 and out over the end line. It'll be a goal kick for the Battery. Time running out, 88th minute, and the Battery leading 2-0. Goal kick to be taken by Dusty Hudak. Don't forget, tickets going on sale tomorrow morning at the Paytech Park box office, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. That's the box office at Paytech Park. Individual game tickets going on sale tomorrow morning. And, of course, when you go out to pick up tickets, make sure you got your tickets for opening night on Saturday the 17th. Tiger along the midfield into the circle for Zé Roberto. Turns back, being bumped by Alonso. Cross midfield, stepping in. Bonsu takes it away. Draws it down to his own 35. Palguda looks to the outside and ahead for Kraft up the left wing. Approaching midfield as we're now in the 89th minute. Kraft to the midfield line. Looks ahead along the near touchline and feeds forward to Diallo. As he's knocked down, the ball recovered, then blocked away again by Kraft, and now it's volleyed out through midfield by Rolko. Covered by the Rhinos. Palguda long on the left foot to the far side for Millward. Turning back under the ball, will drop it off at the midfield line. Carried forward by Ball up the right wing side. Looking for the through ball. Menyonga to the outside, and after it Millward. Forward to the 18. Right foot roller inside the 6. Blocked away out over the end line, and it'll be a corner kick once again for the Rhinos. Evan Millward. He never stops, that young man. One of the younger players on this team, 23 years of age. From Arnprior, Ontario. Here's the corner kick. Service down out to the 15. Headed by Bonsu in front. Loose ball is kicked away from 15 yards out toward midfield. Bonsu got it off in the middle, but the Rhinos couldn't finish. Kraft turns it to the outside. And the ball is brought away up the wing and across midfield line. On the attack come the battery. We're now into the 90th minute. Pull down all the way to the Rochester 15 on the far wing. Ball out, and the ball is knocked out of bounds. It'll be a throw in for the Rhinos. Down inside the 18 to Kraft, where he'll carry it away. So the final moments of this game, as the ball is carried forward by the Rhinos in the center circle. Tiger sneaks it through to Delicott. Drops it off there. And turned to the outside, Menyonga up the left wing and across midfield, Zé Roberto. As we're looking for the additional time, 2 minutes of stoppage time, 2 minutes of additional time. Off of the near wing to midfield and out over the touchline on the near side. So the Rhinos need a goal a minute for the remainder of this game. As the ball will be thrown in by the battery from their own 30. Clock is stopped at 90. We're in stoppage time. Throw in, and of course the battery not in any too much of a hurry to get a ball. Elton with the throw in out near midfield. Knocked down. Zé Roberto turns it forward. Trying to get loose. Delicott, but that's then hammered out through midfield and underneath the Bonsu. Center circle for Tiger. Looks forward. Draws it away. Trying to get through past Alonso to the outside of the left wing for Diallo. As he's chased there by Velton. Working down to the left wing side to the 10, and the ball tackled away nicely by Velton. Pass forward. Alonso has an assist in this game on the near side. Rolls it out toward midfield, and across midfield is Spicer. Down into Rhino territory to the outside. Sneaks it through the rolling ball down inside the 18, and Vallow after it. Scoops it up. Carries it away. Throws it out on the far wing. Brought forward by Ball. As he begins to attack upfield, turns it to the outside on the right wing for Millward. Turning back, grabbed onto, but gets away. Cross midfield to the outside, still being bothered. And Rolko, as Millward recovers the ball, drops it to his own side of midfield. Once again, ball off in the middle for Bonsu. So we're down into the final minute. Rod forward out to midfield. Kraft to Zé Roberto. Looks but no room as Alonso is on him, and the ball dropped back to their own 35 for Palguda. Pulling it forward is Palguda with the left foot. Delivers through midfield. Diallo can't get up to the ball. It's headed away to the midfield line, and Zé Roberto will touch it aside for Kraft. On the near wing. Left foot. Floater coming down, but headed away toward the middle once again. Moving in, and Younger can't get loose. And the collision, and the whistle blows, and that's going to be it. So the Rhinos come out on the short end of this one here tonight. And the Charleston Battery win their first of the season. As Dusty Hudak comes up with his first shutout of the season. And the Battery coming away with a victory. Charleston on the season now a win, a loss, and 2 ties. And the Rhinos in one game take the 2-0 loss. That's the final score from Blackbaud Stadium. Tonight in Game 1, it's the Charleston Battery 2 and the Rochester Rhinos nothing. This is the Rhinos Broadcast Network. Blackbaud Stadium. Joe will be along in a couple of moments there. That was not quite right. Joe will be up, and he and Soccer Sam will be taking your calls in just a few moments at 222-4369. 222-4369 will be the number for the post-game call-ins this season, as we're here on our new home for the Rhinos, and that being, of course, Country 107.3 FM, and you can also find us online. Go to the Rhinos website and look for the link to Country 107, or you can go to mycountryfm.com and get online to listen to our broadcasts also on the web. All right, the 2 goals scored in the game. 42nd minute, Patterson for the Charleston Battery scores the first goal of the game, which actually turned out also to be the game winner. Retta assisting, and in the second half, 81st minute, King with his first of the season, assisted by Alonzo. Unofficial stats, I had 8 shots for the Battery and 5 for the Rhinos. Corner kicks, Rochester with 8 and Charleston with 5. 2 offsides against the Battery and 1 against the Rhinos. And that's what I had in the game as far as the unofficial statistics are concerned. Dusty Hudak now with a 1-1-2 record on the season, and Vallow with an 0-1-0 record on the season. And time now for our post-game awards, if you will. First of all, the Excellus Play of the Game tonight, which is brought to you by Excellus Blue Cross Blue Shield, helping you achieve your goals. Here go the Battery on the other way. Through ball on the left wing side. Breaking down inside. Moving in shot. They score. Left-footed kick in off the far side. And who was it? It was a King. I got to find out who that was to put it away. But a through ball, nice feet, upfield, and the Battery now taking a 2-0 lead. So that was the second goal of the night scored by King, and that's the Excellus Play of the Game. As far as the save of the game tonight, which is brought to you by Lamont Awards and Apparel, your choice for honoring your team, company, or special person. This is the save of the game. Cross midfield, Belton as the ball tackled away by Guppy, and then 10 minutes after the play was by, the player went down. Here's the ball in, hit it in, it's put it away. Nice save by Scott Vallow, a head ball for the lower corner left side. Vallow diving for it, got the right hand on it to tip it aside. Great save by Vallow, and it'll be a corner kick for the Battery. So Vallow showing his form here again tonight, came up with a great save, but still, unfortunately for the Rhinos, gave up 2 tonight. Well, the power trip player of the game tonight, I got to go with Alonzo. It's one of the newcomers and one of the players that defected from the Cuban national team, and that being Osvaldo Alonzo. Played an outstanding game tonight. He did come up with an assist on the second goal, but all night long he seemed to be in the way and played an outstanding game. The Power Trip player of the game is brought to you by Power Trip. Get in the game. And the Pellegrinos sub of the game tonight, I got to go with Nate Kraft, who came in to replace Atiba Charles way back in the 13th minute of the game. And Kraft, who wasn't really expected to see more than a few minutes here tonight because he's just come over from the indoor game and went for the whole remainder of the game and did an excellent job. So we'll go with Nate Kraft. Tonight's sub of the game selection brought to you by Pellegrinos. Always fresh, always fast, and always delicious. And tonight, the Paytech call of the game brought to you by Paytech. Personalizing personal communications. Off the right wing side, a left-footed in-swing kick high for the back post, and it is blocked back in front. A head ball, and they score. Yes, it came back in front, was headed down inside the net, as the Battery have scored here. A service across the goal mouth to the back post, put back in front, and then finished off with a head ball. Might have been Patterson. We'll check to see who finally gets credit for that goal, but the Battery scoring here in the 42nd minute, the first goal of the game. And that was the first goal. That was the goal scored by Patterson, which also turned out to be the game-winning goal as the Rhinos were unable to score here tonight. All right, so the Rhinos coming out of the short end of a 2-0 score in Game 1. Game 2 will be on Sunday from St. Paul, Minnesota, and will be at James Griffin Stadium for you on Sunday. And the game starting at 6:05 Minneapolis time, 7:05 Rochester time. The broadcast with Joe Giuliano starting at 6:30 on Sunday evening. 6:30 Sunday evening for Game 2. The Rhinos traveling to take on the Minnesota Thunder. Don't forget, of course, the box office open tomorrow morning at Paytech Park from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. for your individual game tickets, season tickets, and so on. And pick up your tickets for opening night on Saturday, May 17th. All right, that's wrapping up for my part here tonight from Blackbaud Stadium in Charleston. The final score, the Battery 2 and the Rhinos nothing. Stick around for Joe Giuliano, Soccer Sam, taking your calls in just a couple of moments. 222-4369, the number 222-4369. I'm Don Stevens. Thanks for being along. This is the Rhinos Broadcast Network.
Well, good evening, soccer fans. Tonight, this is the Connors and Ferris Direct Call-In Show, also sponsored by Auction Direct. I'm Joe Giuliano. Soccer Sam and I sat by and watched the Rhinos unfortunately go to a 2-0 loss down in Charleston. And the number to call before we get Soccer Sam's thoughts and opinions, 222-4369. 222-4369. Again, 222-4369. This is a 30-minute call-in show. We are going to rifle through the calls tonight again. 222-4369. Game number 1, a 2-0 loss in Charleston for the Rhinos this evening. Soccer Sam, there's so much momentum going on, but again, people got to remember it's the first game of the year.
Well, our fans have to remember, too, that Charleston was playing 3 games, and we had players coming into town. I mean, we had a late start, and this is almost like preseason. No excuses here. I'm not I'm being serious, though. I think that this team needs to learn to gel, and this was their first practice, basically, as a team against a real team. And did they do bad? Keep in mind, Atiba Charles out of the game.
14th minute.
And last year, the man that played back there was smooth as could be. Is home injured right now.
Loera.
Alfonso Loera. So, I mean, there's the 2 guys in the middle that we were depending on. One got hurt earlier this week, couldn't make the trip. The other guy got smashed in the head. We hope he's okay. So, I mean, that kind of messed things up because Palguda's been practicing more on the left side. So, hey, overall, we had like 3 amazing chances.
Yep.
And it happens, but I think it was a good preseason type game, even though it counts.
The number again, 222-4369. Recapping the scoring: Randy Patterson in the 42nd minute, Aaron King, a substitute, in the 81st minute. A tough giveaway by T-Bone on that second goal, but the Rhinos were pushing up, looking for the equalizer, leading to that goal by the Charleston battery. As you mentioned it, Atiba Charles went down with the injury. Nate Kraft had to come in, a little shifting defensively for the Rhinos. Palguda and T-Bone playing in the middle, and then that forced out Kraft to the left side. So Rochester all-time against Charleston, 11-4-4. They've got the battery's number, but I think the first game tonight, the link from the midfield, just not there yet for the Rochester Raging Rhinos. Again, 222-4369. And Craig, if we've got calls, let's get them going. I think you said 1 in the line before I didn't catch the name.
Brian from Rochester.
All right, Brian from Rochester. You are the first gentleman on the post-game call-in show for 2008. Welcome to the show.
Hi, Joe. How you doing, buddy?
Good, Sam. Or Brian, how are you?
Good. Sammy, I don't think he's there yet. Tonight's game, I figured that this team was going to be a little nervous in their first game. Plus, I guess they didn't have enough last time. But you know what, though? Joe, this team here, I think this team's going to be very exciting to see once when they pull together, start winning games. And like I talked to the coach last week, he said that this team's going to be exciting, and I think he's right on that.
Well, Brian, first of all, Brian, I am here, buddy. Thank you so much for being the first caller for this year.
You're welcome, buddy.
We appreciate your support at any station we go on, and this is our new home. I'm loving it. It's feeling good. Unfortunately, lost tonight, but I'm not worried. I got a feeling that Coach Tilly's going to turn this thing right around, and these first 5 games are going to be a great test. And May 17th, buddy, it's going to be big.
All right, Brian, thanks for the call again. 222-4369 is the number. This is the Connors and Ferris Direct Call-In Show, also sponsored by Auction Direct. And at this time, let's take a look at the Pita Pit play of the game. Again, the Pita Pit play of the game from tonight's game between Rochester and Charleston. No, we'll try to get that going for you. I think the play of the game was that second goal by Aaron King. When our producers got that set to go, let me know. Again, that'll be the Pita Pit play of the game.
Here go the battery on the other way. Through ball on the left wing side. Breaking down inside. Moving in shot. They score. Left-footed kick in off the far side. And who was it? It was a King. They're going to find out who that was to put it away, but a through ball, nice feet, upfield, and the battery now taking a 2-0 lead.
It's a tough one for the Rhinos to give up. 81st minute, Aaron King from Alonso. The number is 222-4369. By the way, that was the Pita Pit play of the game. Michael from Rochester, good evening and welcome to the postgame show.
Hello?
Michael, how are you?
Good, how are you doing?
Good, welcome to the show.
Oh, thank you.
Tough one tonight for the Rhinos. Your thoughts on game number 1?
Well, obviously it's not a result that I'm happy with, but it didn't seem like they played all that bad, considering, the 2-0 loss doesn't sound good, but the level of play seemed like it was pretty even between both teams. I think that they made a mistake on the corner kick, but it's a 30-game season, and so, we didn't win the first game, but, I'm still looking forward to the season, and I think we're going to have a very good team.
Michael, thank you for the call. We appreciate your time tonight. 222-4369. Right. And Michael did mention that first goal by Randy Patterson. The assist went to Kevin Nyland. The ball was a deep corner kick. We thought it was going out of bounds. Credit to the Charleston Battery. They never quit on the play. Ball was headed back across by Nyland, and Patterson had a pretty simple finish.
It surprised everyone, including us. I mean, I just thought it was going out of bounds. I kind of took my eye off
you were still eating popcorn.
I took my eye off the popcorn bowl for a second. But, it's just I think there's a lot of positive things tonight. Diallo had a point-blank chance. He tripped on the line, tripped on something. And keep in mind, too, all you fans, I mean, these guys have been practicing for maybe 3 weeks hard, and a lot of guys just came in, but on turf. This is a grass field.
Good point.
This is a bumpy grass field. It's a different surface, and I think some of the guys are surprised at it. One of my players of the game, was Nate Kraft, coming in, surprise player, playing indoor just 2 weeks ago, came in, had some injuries, some knocks indoor, but he looked smooth on the ball tonight, so I think Nate Kraft's going to do a lot for us this year, Joe.
So, Soccer Sam, that is your Zweigels Red Hot player of the game this evening. Nate Kraft gets the honor tonight for the Zweigels Red Hot player of the game on the Connors and Ferris Direct Call-In Show. Also sponsored by Auction Direct. The number again, 222-4369. The Rhinos now 1 game played, 1 loss, no points, 2 goals against for Charleston. 1 win, 1 loss, 2 ties. They have got 5 points now, and they've scored 5, given up 4. So we've got some scores from out of town as well. Last I heard at the half, it was Montreal at Puerto Rico 0-0. And in the 62nd minute, Seattle at Atlanta. It's Seattle 1-0 over the Silverbacks in the 62nd minute. That's a rematch of the 2007 USL Championship game. And we're going to try and get in touch with some of the Rhino players down in Charleston. We spoke with Andrew Schmidt, and I'm sure right now Tilly's got a few words for the guys in the locker room. Hopefully he's not coming across too hard because, again, first game of the year. You played a lot of college teams in the preseason. I think the pace of the game against an equal opponent really is going to be an adjustment for the Rhinos, but I think they'll be fine.
In a different pitch, but Joe, Salas going down with an injury.
That's right.
I mean, it's unfortunate for Salas, but he is very injury prone, and I'm hoping this is not a serious one for him. Let's look at the whole. Vallo made, I thought, 3 spectacular saves. 2, I'd put him right up there with Superman style saves. The one was okay. But defensively, Joe, your thoughts of the defense today?
How about Kremmelmeyer, that one save off the goal line when the ball was flicked up over Vallo? Kremmelmeyer just sprinting back, knocking the ball away. That was a great play by the Rhinos defender. So that really could have been 3-0 if it wasn't for Kremmelmeyer. Defensively, I think you nailed it on the head, Sammy. The adjustment, taking out Atiba, I think really kind of rattled the Rhinos a little bit. Atiba and Bonsu, I think, were rock solid together in the middle. Then the big adjustment, Kraft coming in. Is he 100% outdoor shape yet? We don't know. But I think that transition so early in the game, 14 minutes in, where Palguda had to shift inside, Kraft had to come in, may have taken more of an effect than we thought.
Well, I think Atiba, what he brings to the team is experience, leadership. I mean, he's been there. Trinidad and Tobago national team player. So all of a sudden you see this guy go down. It's your first game of the year. You haven't practiced for 6 or 8 weeks like a lot of the teams have. You haven't played any MLS or USL competition. I'm thinking a lot of these guys just tightened up a little bit. And sometimes there's great practice players and there's great game players. And sometimes it takes a while for these guys to become great game players. And tonight I think we saw a little nerves.
Tiger Fitzpatrick, again tonight, not the Tiger we saw in preseason, but again, I think the pace totally different. It's going to take an adjustment period for the Rhinos to get back into the swing of things here in the USL First Division. They're going to go at it again on Sunday against the Minnesota Thunder, who have also played 3 games. So it's, again, the Rhinos against the team. They're playing catch-up as far as game speed is concerned.
Johnny Younger, I mean, he had some great touches on the ball in the middle there, and he was playing. I was a confused positioning based on the way I was looking at it. Was he playing midfield? Was he playing withdrawn striker? Or was Salas playing the withdrawn striker? It seems like at times Younger was playing the withdrawn striker, and then other times Salas was playing the withdrawn striker. Yep. Your thoughts, Joe?
A lot of interchanging. Guppy was on the left, then he came on the right side. It was a 4-3-1-2 formation, where I don't think Menyanger's comfortable on that flank side. I really don't think he's comfortable. He didn't see enough of the ball to be very effective tonight on that outside midfield position. Guppy, spent a lot of time on the right tonight. I'd love to see him more on the left. And Delicott, too. Delicott did a couple good things tonight where he would play the ball quickly to Guppy and then try to get in the box and be an option just a little quicker, becoming an option for those beautiful crosses, because that guy, like we said, he's going to put the ball there. It's just a matter of the Rhino players getting on the end of it. Guppy served some nice balls in tonight. Deli's just got to sprint to that space and become one of those options.
Joe, you said it the other day on the John DiTullio show on Hot Talk 1280 about Guppy. Now, you're saying he was the second best?
According to the press in England, he was labeled as the second best crosser of players in England, second to David Beckham.
Wow. I saw that tonight. They're right there in the box. And just I think because of fitness and time, I think you're going to see our guys crash the box, and just go into it more. And our midfield was, let's face it, they were kind of tired too. I mean, Tiger hadn't been playing a whole game out in a full field like this yet against, a real opponent that's played 3 games already, and Johnny Mean Younger. So those 2 guys could have been crashing the box with Deli too. Yeah. And I think we're going to see them more. One of the things I was concerned about tonight is Diallo. It just seems like he wasn't in the game at all.
Yeah, I thought the connection of Diallo, Delicott, and Salas just wasn't there. Salas took a lot of bangs tonight. First half, he was down. Everyone's off the field. Salas is still down the field getting the magic spray from Dave DePasquale. That magic triangle, as I call it, it's not clicking yet, but once it does, and Salas is facing the goal, able to shoot or create for Diallo and for Deli, I think that's going to take some time to gel. But when it does, that guarantee, mark my words, will be one of the most effective combinations in the league.
John Ball came in pretty late in the game.
86th minute.
You were kind of surprised, but, Mr. Tilley, Coach Sir Darren Tilley, has said in the past he doesn't want to do this like high school / college type stuff where guys just going in and out. He wants to give his starters a chance to get their opportunity to play well. And you think it was that, or you think, maybe John Ball wasn't really ready, the guys on the bench weren't ready yet?
I wish I was down there to see how the training session went yesterday and today. I don't know about that. I think, especially away from home, late in the game, the build-up play just wasn't working. Maybe you do send some balls in. Some guys like Ball and Millward, who came in late to create some destruction in the opponent's half of the field. 84th minute for Ball, 86th minute for Millward. Did they get enough time to create? Probably not, but there's always Sunday in Minnesota, and Ball and Millward will be very fresh, and we'll see how they come off the bench or if they start.
Well, I feel bad tonight, Joe. I feel bad for 2 guys, but basically I feel awful for Mr. Darren Tilley. I mean, his first game coaching a professional team.
Don't feel too bad, Sam. He's going to be fine.
No, I know, but I feel for him. He's such a great man, and I feel bad for Rob Clark. I mean, he waited all his life to own a pro sports team, and but in this game, it's just like the one year we went to the A-League Finals. A-League Finals, year 1, Joe. How many games? We lost, 8 in a row? And then we ended up going to the finals. So
we had a 500 team at that point.
So I'm not concerned. I think that you need Minnesota. You need that whole West Coast trip to really get this team to gel and to understand each other. And I think by May 17th, this team's going to be rocking and rolling. I can't wait for tomorrow morning, 10 a.m., box office opens. You know who's working our box office?
You tell me.
You ever watch Dancing with the Stars?
Of course.
Tom Bertjogger.
The host? Sure.
The guy works for us now.
Oh, no, here we go.
He does.
Here we
go. He works for us. He'll be at the box office tomorrow. So all you Dancing with the Stars fans, you come and see Tommy. Just call him Tommy. He's looking good. And he'll sell you a ticket, and he'll sell you a season ticket, and in that season ticket you get a free. Well, you get into the stadium, so you get a chance to see the American Idol former star, Bo Bice.
Bo Bice, and as we talked about during the game tonight, there's a lot of big names being tossed around for the Rochester Rhinos post-game halftime shows this year. The number is 222-4369. Give us a call. We'll get you on the post-game show. If you're just tuning in, the final score from Blackbaud Stadium in Charleston, the Battery 2, the Rhinos nothing. Recapping the scoring, Randy Patterson scoring in the 42nd minute and Aaron King in the 81st minute. And the Rhinos have played 1 game so far this year. And finally, Craig, I'm sorry, if you got a caller for us, go ahead.
I got the highlights if you want the goals.
Let's do it. Let's go to the 42nd minute. Randy Patterson from Kevin Nyland. Now, this is the corner kick that was deep but headed back across the goal.
Off the right wing side, a low-footed in-swinging kick high for the back post, and it is blocked back in front. A head ball, and they score. Yes, it came back in front, was headed down inside the net. as the battery has scored here. A service across the goal mouth to the back post, put back in foot, and then finished off on a head ball. Might have been Patterson. We'll check to see who finally gets credit for that goal, but the battery scoring here in the 42nd minute, the first goal of the game.
And again, that was when we talked about the corner kick deep in the box. We thought the play was dead, but Nyland never quit on it, and really a simple finish for Patterson. John Catalano could have finished that one.
I don't even think he could have, if he put the sandwich down maybe. But I'll tell you, fans, there's so much positive going on with this team on and off the field. And let's talk about a little bit off the field stuff that's going on. I mean, tomorrow you're going to come there. If you come there, you're going to see some big changes. You're going to see a brand new area that's going to be a parking lot right next to the stadium, and another 100 and so cars could fit. You're going to see a new ticket office on Broad Street. So all you fans that have parked on Broad Street before and had to walk up the Broad Street to get inside the stadium, now you can go right to that gate, the VIP gate, and get your ticket and come right into the game.
Smart move, convenience.
There's going to be some great kid stuff they're going to announce next week that people are going to be amazed with, and a lot of buzzing going on. I mean, Al Dungy and his crew, they're just making this stadium look beautiful right now. And then you got John Catalano and Eric Trendle. They're doing their thing with the whole PR and whatever they pretend to be doing, but whatever it is, it looks good to me. And Pedro's doing an amazing job. And then you got the girls. I call them Team Cash. I mean, they are all working so hard day and night. And then you got Peter Amos, women's coach by night. By day, him and Joe Valenti and Team Valenti are doing this Pro Pass thing. And if you coaches out there, if you're listening right now, and if you're a parent and your kid doesn't have a Pro Pass, ask your coach what it is, and I'll tell you what it is so you can ask him and make sure he gives you the right information.
Tell us what it is, Soccer Sam.
Your club, together as a club, your club, Joe, the Joe Giuliano Team Soccer.
Team Italia.
Team Italia. The 400 kids in your club.
500.
500, I'm sorry. They all get a ticket
right.
every single game. It's called the Pro Pass. It's sponsored by Food Link.
Okay.
It's basically a charge card. I tried to use it today in Antonetta's. It didn't work. But it's like a charge card. You get into every single game. Your club buys it for you, or you pitch in. It's really inexpensive. It's only $10 for the whole year.
Wow.
So a kid for $10, you think about it today. You buy two fancy coffees, it's $10. $10 gets you into every single game all year long. Yeah, you got to bring your parents, and yeah, you got to bring your grandparents. You got to bring someone's going to bring it, but you got this pass, and I think it's an amazing thing. And this stadium is going to rock. And now we're doing the bands is going to help out with the 18 to 35 crowd. And there's going to be some big surprise. The fans won't even believe that Rob Clark, Matthew Ford are working on right now.
You know, I was just on vacation down in Florida. I went to see a sporting event. And you guys are right on the mark, Sam. Right on the mark. You know, they've got the post-game concerts coming throughout the season. They've got the festivities around the park and the stadium. I think that's something that is really going to be a huge hit with the fans. Face painting, this, that, you name it. It's going to be an atmosphere that is a great soccer game, and then so much more.
Behind the net, in the open area, underneath the scoreboard, you fans wanted a party area. It's going to be a party area. It's going to be the place to meet and be seen and make it happen. So 454 kick tomorrow morning. Stop by the box office, get your tickets for the May 17th opener. And Joe, I'm so excited about. I'm a little down. About tonight, but I kind of honestly, I felt it in my heart that they just weren't ready. They didn't have the 2 months to get ready. They just didn't have that.
The number again is 222-4369. Joe Giuliano with Soccer Sam. 222-4369. You can be next on the Connors and Ferris Direct Call-In Show, also sponsored by Auction Direct, right here on the Rhino's new flagship station, Country 107.3, and on the web at mycountryfm.com. And Sammy, you say you're a little discouraged, but it's only game one. Many more games to come, and you don't want to peak too soon in the season as well. Get your feet wet. I'm sure Tilly's going to make some tactical adjustments, and come Sunday against the Minnesota Thunder, I think we're going to see a Rhinos team now who knows what to expect the rest of the way, man for man, what to expect each other. Probably another thing, too, is they may not know each other's duties just yet. 6 weeks, Tilly's hired. 3 weeks, players are together. That's not a lot of time at all.
I mean, it's unheard of. It's almost impossible. The way that this all happened with Rob Clark saving soccer and saving this team, getting Darren Tilley here, getting players like flying in every day. This is like You got to see how hard the girls are working in the office to get these guys all set up and the visas and all the things you need to do to get these players here. I can't believe that they pulled this off. I can't believe we're on an FM signal, the hottest radio station in town, part of the Clear Channel radio group. We are on this. In a matter of 6 weeks, this all happened. I mean, you're doing this thing. Don Stevens, his 13th year doing this thing. Imagine, 6 weeks ago, Don didn't know what was he going to do this summer. He had no idea. He thought maybe he was going to, fix hockey sticks. I mean,
I wanted him to cut my grass, but that wasn't going to happen.
But, I mean, so much has happened in 6 weeks. I mean, you think about it. Any of you, think back 6 weeks ago, what you've accomplished. In 6 weeks, they saved the team. They created a new atmosphere in the stadium. They brought a team on the pitch tonight. Yeah, we lost 2-0, but we could have scored maybe 2 easy goals that our guys just weren't ready for.
Absolutely. I agree with that 100%. Some fans are going to say, oh, they're just, they're toting this and saying this and that. It's too early to be negative and say anything wrong about this team. It's one game, and like we said, Tilly's 6 weeks into the job. Some guys just got here last week, 2 weeks ago. Let's see where this thing goes. Mid-season, things aren't going well. We're going to call it like we see it, and that's what we're doing right now.
Well, I tell you, John Ball, who came in late, and Nate Kraft just got here.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Kraft just got here the other day. I was like, wait, I didn't realize you're here already. So, and Z Roberto, who got into the game, what does Don call him now? It's not Z anymore. It's
Zay, short for Jose.
Zay Roberto, he played quite a bit tonight. I mean, he just got here too. So, I mean, I don't think they thought these guys were going to get cleared by USL, let alone play on the field tonight, because they haven't been with us long enough. But I tell you, this USL Live, you got to check it out. We listen to Don Stevens on the 107 or My Country. What is it, Mike?
MyCountryFM.com.
I like that, Mike. I'm getting into this music because I've been driving around the city.
I'm enjoying it.
I'm
really
getting into it.
Yeah.
It's really a good station, dude. It's got some good stuff. You get the beat, and they barely play commercials on the station. And they're like, right now, you got 30 minutes of just us talking to each other, like something wrong with it. But really, they barely play any commercials. Good country music. It's wholesome stuff. I love the station. I'm so happy you're on it. And Joe, I'm happy you brought me back this year, man. I really appreciate you giving me an opportunity to help you out here. I got dual roles, kind of. I gotta be the suit and tie guy during the day. But man, once I put these sunglasses on right here, baby, I'm gonna work hard for you. Thanks for having me, brother.
Oh, Sammy, you know what? You're a huge savior of soccer in the city. The Rob Clark thing coming through, the Rhinos bringing you on full time. Absolutely great decision. But in all honesty, thank you for giving me this opportunity to continue working on the post game show and also the color commentary for the home games. But we got to look now towards Sunday. The Thunder have played only 2 games, 1 win, 1 loss. They've got 3 points, 2 goals for, 2 goals against. This will be the home opener for the Minnesota Thunder. You've been to that venue before. Not the best pitch in the world at James Griffin Stadium, I believe.
They're still playing there, huh? I can't believe that, but yeah, it's an okay pitch. Let's face it. I mean, it's Johnny Mignonger's homecoming. In the off season, Johnny coaches high school soccer, a women's team, a girls team. So Johnny draws 1,000 people to every game. The pitch, they're working on possibly moving the stadium down the road, or moving the team to a different facility. It's an older facility.
We're going to check that right now. Keep going.
It reminds me of old school soccer, but
station identification.
Yeah, it's still James Griffin Stadium.
It is James Griffin. All right, good call, Joe.
Yep. You are listening to the Raging Rhinos post-game show. It's the Connors and Ferris Direct Call-In Show, also sponsored by Auction Direct. Let's pause for station identification. This is the Rhinos Broadcast Network.
WCRR South Bristol, Rochester is Country 107.3.
3 more minutes.
The number again, 222-4369. We've got 3 minutes before we wrap this thing up. If any callers want to sneak in just before the buzzer, we're going to recap here tonight. Rochester 2-0 falling to the Charleston Battery at Blackbaud Stadium. At the half, it was 1-0 Charleston. And the first goal for Charleston coming 42nd minute, 3 minutes before the half. I think if the Rhinos could have gotten into the locker room, 0-0. I know you hate that.
We're in America.
I know.
What is a nil anyway, really?
0-0.
Yeah.
It would have been a huge confidence boost. But
how much is that? 5-0? It's like, what does that mean? Seriously. You're right. Don't choke on me. But, I don't get the nil thing. I don't get a lot of this lingo. But, Joey, I got to tell you one thing, though. Honestly, this is important. I have to tell you one thing.
All right, go. We got a call from Webster coming in.
All right, go ahead.
All right, caller from Webster. I didn't catch. Is it Joe from Webster?
Vito.
Vito, good evening. How are you?
Hey, Sam, how you doing? How you guys doing tonight?
Vito, I'm doing great. I'm with Joe Giuliano.
Yeah, Joe, how's it going?
Good, Vito.
Yeah, well, it sounded like they had a little life in them tonight. Unfortunately, it didn't go their way, but looks like the old spirit's back, and I wish you guys the best of luck this year. I hope it comes back strong as ever.
Well, Vito, I hope to see you at every game. This is Vito Corbacero.
You got it.
Dude, I recognize that voice from way back, one of the greatest local soccer players to ever live.
Oh, Sam, you're too kind, but
the magic that you could do. But, baby, we got to get the people, Vito. You got to get your people.
Well, that's why I'm calling in. It sounds like, I'd like to go back. I know we started out with this team. We went to Seattle, everything. I just hope that the people really give it another chance. I know this is a great soccer town. We got great tradition. And, it's people like me that's been around playing the game and love it. I hope we just come out and support the team. We got to give these guys a shot.
All right, Vito. Well, tomorrow morning, if anyone's out and about, Vito, if you got nothing to do, stop over, get your tickets if you didn't get them yet. 10 to 2, the box office is open right at Paytech Park. I can't wait to see you, Vito. Thank you guys, God bless you, and good luck. I think we're going to have a good year this year. So take care, and we'll see you guys soon.
All right, Vito, thanks for the call.
No problem.
222-4369, Vito calling in from Webster tonight, and we are going to have a good year. It's going to take some time for things to gel, but the Rhinos, again, they're back in action on Sunday. There's not time to sit and say, oh, we lost our first game of the year at Charleston. You get on a plane tomorrow, boom, you're in Minnesota. We go at it again.
It changes. Everything changes. Soccer is different than a lot of other sports. But like Vito said, Vito is one of those guys. Like, I think there was 60 people that flew to Seattle year one in the championship.
I remember that, yeah.
You were on national TV,
yeah.
Joe. And, we had no idea the team. I mean, we had the beginning of the year was kind of. I think we lost eight in a row. It was a challenge.
I think we qualified with a 500 record for the playoffs.
So and look what happened. So but the tradition is out there, and some people, for whatever reason, in the last 2 years have given up on the tradition. It's all back, man. It's just amazing. The phone's like zinging. I mean, sponsors zinging. People are calling for tickets. Groups are calling. It's just amazing. I mean, we had this whole group of nuns they bought tickets. Joe, it's just exciting to see.
Well, the sponsor list at the beginning and end of the show, it's like the New York Yankees of soccer.
Well, that's who we are. I had a conversation with someone today, and he was telling me that he was a big Rangers fan. I guess it's like those figure skaters on ice.
Easy. I'm a hockey guy too now. Come on.
But I said to him, this guy's not from Rochester. I said, we are the Rangers of Rochester. We are the sports team. I mean, let's face it, we are. I mean, we are the most powerful, most popular sports team in Rochester, New York. There's more people playing organized soccer than all the other sports combined. I mean, there's so many former players and guys like Vito Corbacero and the Corbacero family that they've been around forever and ever playing this thing. So, I mean, Joey, I got to tell you something. Sunday, I got to tell you.
Final thoughts.
I got a surprise Sunday. I'm going to tell you Sunday I'm out.
All right, Soccer Sam, thanks for joining us tonight on the pregame show and the postgame show. Folks, you have been listening to the Connors and Ferris Direct Call-In Show, also sponsored by Auction Direct with me, Joe Giuliano, and Soccer Sam. The final score tonight from Charleston, the Battery 2, the Rhinos nothing. We will talk to you on Sunday. Airtime 5:30. The Rhinos take on the Minnesota Thunder from James Griffin Stadium. For Don Stevens, our great producer Craig Schaller, you have been listening to Rochester Rhino Soccer on Country 107.3, mycountryfm.com. Joe Giuliano, ciao for now.